Recording in progress.
Hey, you know what? I want a nice little intro for the three of us. Wait a second. There's not just three of us here, is there?
I think you mean the four of us. Because for the first time in Unpaid Irregulars history, and that's 11 episodes, folks, we have a special guest who not only has the earphones, he's got a microphone.
Heck yeah, he does.
Ladies and gentlemen, that guest is Kurt Gabriel.
Yeah, Kurt.
Oh, thank you. He said special guest because I have special needs.
100%, yeah. I didn't mean that in the way of like you're more valuable. I meant like, no, we like pay extra attention to him.
Yeah. He got the best parking of the night. He's right in the driveway. Very lucky.
Wait, hold on. Before someone is incredibly offended, you need to explain how that's not offensive.
I have brain damage, so if anyone can make fun
You're
of
going to need to
people-
go a little further than that. On
It
why
does sound. It sounds worse, Mitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in a car accident a couple years ago, and she hit my funny bone, and now I do comedy.
Hey! Thank
Yellow.
God. You know, God works in mysterious ways, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, I love it.
Man.
Okay.
But he also hit your memory bone.
Yeah, unfortunately,
so-
that fell out the window.
That
so.
cracked in half.
Darn it.
I think our friendship is 2 months old. And already 3 times like, hey man, missed you last night. He's like, what was last night?
Actually, can I ask, like, did you forget any major events in life? Like, have you had to be reminded of certain things, or is it more just, dang?
I lost it over a decade. Like, no. So when I first woke up, I was in a coma for 6 days. And then when I first woke up, I thought I was president, and I made my brother the vice president. I was talking about Kim Jong-un and nuclear tensions in Russia. One night I was in the special forces, and I was married to this girl I dated in high school.
Wow.
And we were in Mexico, arresting terrorists, defending Mexico City. Yeah, all this crazy nonsense.
Was this this was happening in your coma, or is this after you?
No,
woke
after
up?
I woke up. Yeah, while I was
Wow.
in the hospital for
Wait.
2 months.
So you didn't just lose memory. You gained non-existent events.
Gained memory.
You gained identity.
That
What if
is-
this is total recall? What if it did happen?
Yeah.
Dude, I whoever I was when I woke up lived a much more exciting life than I do.
I was thinking of like, dude, we could use his
It
president.
sounds like you're actually Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, Monica Lewinsky gave me a blowjob. It was crazy. All these memories, like, no, I think that was real.
That happened, Bill.
Like, dude,
wow.
wouldn't
believe the shit I dreamt of. They were making sketches on SNL of me.
maybe, but I can't remember. So
Wow.
I plead the fifth.
Did it ever come back? Like, did you? Like,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So when I woke
Thanks,
up,
Phil.
I lost over a decade of memory. They told me to describe the house that I lived in, and I lived in Glendale at the time, and I described the house that I grew up in until I was 13.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
When did it come back to you? And like, what was it like when you're like, oh my gosh, I'm remembering?
It was incrementally. It was like over time. I got like, my elementary school, like my middle school memories back, and then my high school memories, and then eventually built it all the way back up to right before the accident.
Oh, that's unfortunate. You had to relive your middle school. It's like
Yeah.
usually most people just have to go through it once, and
Oh,
you're like,
yeah.
oh no, we're doing this again.
Yeah.
We're going. Oh crap.
Yeah. And middle school
man.
was rough for me. I was a late bloomer. I mean,
Oh shoot.
I got a big head. It took a while for it to develop. So I was in 8th grade, and so my 6th grade year was the first year that my elementary school, they tacked on 6th grade to elementary. So I was in elementary school until 6th grade, and then I was homeschooled for 7th grade, and then for 8th grade I moved to New Hampshire, where I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
So I entered 8th grade in a completely new city with virtually no maturity. Like last time I was in school, I was in elementary school, so I was a freaking goofball.
How old were you when the accident happened? How
21, 3 weeks after my 21st birthday. And then
Dang.
because of the brain injury, I wasn't allowed to drink for a year.
Yeah,
I was
well,
so pissed.
You're like,
Yeah.
It's the worst part.
well, luckily you're 12s in your mind at this point, so
Yeah.
you're like, well, I can't drink anyway.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is gross. I don't even like this.
I want some Capri Sun, actually.
Yeah, speaking of drinking.
Yeah, get in there.
Thank you, Trey.
No, thank you, Kurt, for getting the all-in-one cans of gin and tonic.
Oh, that's
my
fantastic.
pleasure.
Yeah,
I didn't want to do any work.
You did yourself.
So thoughtful.
Yeah.
But dude, I'm very excited because have we mentioned this? Dude, you're opening the show.
Oh yeah, I am. Am I?
How does you still are?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm super excited, and also I'm shitting my pants.
I love it.
So
dude.
I got.
That's the best. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it. And for the listeners at home,
Oh, with that freaking
we are.
statement.
I mean, by the time this podcast is out, we will have done the show.
Yes. We'll be like, you remember that shit?
Oh man.
Remember we did that show
in the trenches.
back in
I'm just not. I'm not here next week. I'm off the show. It didn't go well for one of us.
Yeah, I can't believe Evan got canceled after the show, but
He did do that thing.
We were
Doing
way
that thing
too
you do.
optimistic before the show.
We have so much to talk about on this podcast.
Yeah, can we? 'Cause
Which
we'll be
is
toast.
very rare for us. We usually come to podcasts like, what are we going to talk about?
Yes.
But we actually, we have, today we officially sold out of both of our shows. I don't think I sent you guys the updated screenshot.
Should we cheers? Let's cheers
Let's
to that.
cheers to that.
Mitch, you can suck it.
I got some water. I got some water.
Oh yeah, good.
I got some
my
water.
tortilla.
Look at that effort.
We sold out both shows. We are officially performing in front of over 200 people this weekend.
Let's go.
200,000 people, folks.
200,000.
Can't even believe it.
We're doing it at Oracle Arena. It's going to be amazing. So the added plot twist to that is that it's Kurt's first show ever.
Yes.
That's not an open mic, and there's just going to
scared.
be 100 people in each audience. So
Oh my gosh.
I just want to know, before we dive in too much about the show and everything, I want to know how you're feeling, just about because
Kurt.
you've done 3 open mics total. Like that's just so far your stand-up career, and tomorrow you're going to perform in front of a big audience and be an opener. How does that feel?
I am so nervous. I mean, back when I lived in LA, I was working for a tech company, and I multiple times would get up on my job was one of my jobs was I would pitch. And I pitched in front of hundreds of people, and back then, I mean, I was nervous, but I knew how to do it. But it's been so long since I've been on stage. I'm like, crap. I'm praying I sleep tonight.
Yeah.
The night before the first night I went up when we met,
Yep.
the night before I only slept for 2 hours and 50 minutes because I was just laying awake in bed, just oh my
Just
gosh,
freaking
I'm
out.
dying, yeah, and just drag myself out of bed in the morning and then to class. I mean, I ran home to try and take a nap, and then my friends texted me and they're like, "Hey, are you coming to the meeting?" I'm like, "Oh, damn it." So I dragged myself there. I was just sitting in the corner like, this is not going to go well.
Yeah, that's shame. I'm not gonna lie. The first time that I walked into Shameless myself, I was like, the same thought. This is not gonna go well.
Yeah.
I was like this, and thus far, it really hasn't. No, we've had some good shows. No, we've had great. Dude, I'm so excited to watch you tomorrow. I think the crowd is gonna be super. You're gonna be, I think, blown away by the difference of reaction you're gonna get. I'm really excited for you. And way to go for it too.
Yeah, 100%.
thank you.
God.
You just did it. What Kurt is too humble to finish that story with about him being nervous to do his first mic and only having 3 hours of sleep is that he proceeded to crush, and it was so funny, and you were so genuine, and you were so just open about your brain damage and everything. Like the whole thing was just so funny but endearing and just sweet. And then literally me, Evan, and Phil, the 3 of us were there, and we were all like, this guy, you know what I mean? And then right after that, I went to you and invited you to be on the show we're doing tomorrow. And which is funny because there were 4 other open micers standing right next to us when I did that. And I did not invite them.
And here's the thing. So we are like the Lorne Michaels of Reading.
Oh my God.
So this is a big effing deal, and don't mess it up. I'm kidding.
Yeah, dude. Evan Trey Phil with martinis, being like, "We saw your show.
You know,
we were impressed. Pretty chuffed, you could say. Look, we got a big show coming up. You in or you out? 5 seconds to decide."
Sipping into that mic.
The clock is ticking, young man.
I like what I saw up there. No, dude, I'm right there with you. I'm so nervous. Really, this is the first. We've done open mics. That doesn't really count, I think. But this is the first show we've done since Fertelli's.
2019.
I am also equally very nervous. I can't help but be nervous.
Yeah.
It's a good sign. It's good
Yeah.
to be nervous before this stuff. You should be.
I
It means you care.
always bring this up, how Bill Russell, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, before every game would throw up because he was so nervous. And he's one of the best to ever do it. And then you bring up David Letterman.
And yesterday, Kelly Warner, I believe, shout out to Kelly,
Kelly.
told me that Adele throws up before every show.
Adele.
Yeah.
I just
But
wanna
that's
hug
because
her.
she has an
The
eating
queen?
disorder.
Yeah.
It's different.
That's it.
That's not related
Nothing
to
to do
her
with the
talent.
nerves.
I'm kidding, Adele, who's definitely listening.
Guys, don't
don't have an eating
don't you talk about my future wife that way.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I'm trying to get some of that money.
I bet.
I'm going to do the same thing her ex-husband did.
trying to get you a sugar mama.
That's terrible. Her ex-husband's like, gotta be pretty happy about how that ended, though.
Dude.
Did he get like a settlement?
Oh, did he get us? Like, frickin' might as well have been a pilgrim. I don't know.
Is that good for
I was
women's
gonna say,
rights or men's rights?
What kind
I
of
don't
metaphor
know.
is that? That's good for men's rights.
Okay, men's rights.
If I were to shit on your yard and you were to write a stand-up bit about it, and then I'd be like, hey, give me half your money from shitting on your yard. That's what happened. That's what happened.
Oh, because it was from a song.
Well, yeah, I guess her whole album was
I
inspired
don't
by.
think that's what it was. That's what
You don't think
happened?
that's what I'm pretty? I thought
I thought
that's
it was
what
just
happened.
marriage. 50% of
Oh, it's just from the divorce.
That's the deal.
Because I thought it was like she wrote an album about like about heartbreak, and he was like, yeah, well, I broke your heart, so
You're welcome.
so you wouldn't have written it without me, babe.
He's weeping, just like, I deserve something from this.
No.
Oh, so it was just from divorce.
Yeah.
That makes way okay. That puts my
Yeah.
faith in humanity a little more.
I mean, I think
'Cause
so.
I was like, all right,
We're gonna have to Google that because if it's like
Phil,
I inspired this.
you're gonna have to Google it.
No, it's all right. Anyway.
What did Adele's husband get money for?
Yeah, I bet it was just straight up divorce. Because that's what happens.
That's what happens.
That's what happens, folks.
It happened to Jeff Bezos. Let's talk about that. Have you seen those stories? That's like, because he's like $100 billionaire or whatever.
Yeah.
And so he divorced his wife and she got like $50 billion or something. And she donated $19 billion to this charity like 2 years ago. And today her net worth is higher than it was before that. Because when you're a billionaire,
It
the
grows.
way interest works is you are rich for all of eternity. You could never spend it even if you tried.
So she's the most successful woman by divorcing the most successful man.
yeah.
That sounds like a riddle. That sounds like something to open a door. Okay. All right. Well, if that's the case, interest goes up 12% a year.
Yeah, being rich. Yeah,
That's
that
why-
blows. The whole system blows.
It really does. Being rich blows, but then the whole idea of like a prenup. Like, do you guys think that
Ooh,
if
let's
you were
go
rich?
there.
So okay, all right. I'll ask the guys who are not married.
Oh,
Because you guys can't get in trouble for answering this.
you're going first.
But like, if you say you came into buku money, like $50 billion.
Love that word.
And then you got married. Would you get a prenup? Why or why not?
Well, to be honest, that's actually why I started doing comedy. I was hoping
Getting that 50 bill.
make enough money to
You're in the right area.
to offset the whole.
Yeah,
I have brain damage, but I'm loaded.
Like you want to have a yacht riding up next to Bezos. Oh, hey Bezos, what you doing, man? This is my comedy yacht.
The only way I'm gonna
The horn.
the only way I'm gonna get some poor woman to marry me and give me the kids I've always wanted. So yeah, I'm trying to get loaded, but I have learned a lot about trust. There is a way where you can lock your money away, and so nobody can get to it.
Trust.
not
Like the
even you.
Oh,
Yeah.
not like
I thought you were talking about like trusting a woman.
I definitely
no,
thought you meant
I-
like of the heart.
I still don't have that down now.
You think you have trust, buddy?
Yeah, no.
Oh, wait.
your vows
Yeah.
could be pretty
I'm
like,
like,
I will trust myself.
I'll
I've
trust
learned
you
about-
never to leave me because I'm too loaded. So I know you'll
I've
never
learned
do
about
better.
compassion recently. It's a type of bank in Switzerland, and
Passion.
Wait,
Compassion?
so Kurt, would you get a prenup or not?
So I've gone back and forth about that a lot.
He's thought about it.
Because prenups, I mean, and prenups, not a lot of them even work nowadays. Like there are ways to get around prenups.
Oh, that would
So you'd need, yeah. So,
thinking you're covered, and then
yeah.
your wife's lawyer, your ex's lawyer's like, hey, guess what, buddy? You're not covered. I got you, bitch.
Or I could just never have any money, and that'd be.
Or no
that'd be ideal.
spouse.
Yeah.
ew.
So was your thing? You just kind of know because it's not really worth it, and you have other methods.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the
Yeah.
most effective way to protect yourself?
I've known you for, I mean, really for, well, how long is this podcast? I'm going for 20 minutes. Like, and I already trust you more with my finances than I'm ready.
I did go to college for business. I dropped out after a year, but I still did.
I revoked my statement.
The first year is where you learn the most. The other 3 years are just for doing drugs.
Yeah, and like Native American studies and stuff like that.
Yeah, after about a year, I got sick of paying people to give me homework. So I was like, get me out of here.
From your first year, you're like, this is a bad investment.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I'm out.
Yeah, it's like, actually, that's the best business idea you could have ever made.
Thanks for teaching me that this is a terrible investment. I'm leaving.
All right. So Evan, would
I prenup?
You're 50 billion
I've come
deep.
into 50 bill.
Yeah.
I call it bill because I'm that rich.
Yeah.
I don't even actually screw that. I don't even say IL. I say 50B.
You don't have.
You know
You're
what I
so
mean.
rich. You don't have time to say billion.
I 50B, and then I'm moving, and I gotta walk.
I got stuff to do.
I gotta go.
You say 50. You say 50 big ones.
50 big.
Because then people are like $50,000,
And then I go.
and then you're like no, and then they're like million.
1,000 is a big one to you.
Oh, 50 million, dude. That's so cute. I remember when I was concerned about
I'm in
millions.
my first 5 million.
I mean billion. Okay?
I remember when I hadn't hunted a human yet.
That's the thing. I think. Okay, honestly. Okay. Dum, 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 dum. If it was like the question, the question show, lights came down. It was like, would you do a prenup?
Yeah, or just this podcast.
Yes, yes, I would.
You would?
Yeah. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
Here's the deal.
I want to hear Mitch's answer.
Here's the deal. Of course, this is why I want to find my wife before I ever go into money. If I ever go into money, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't want money to be the reason that someone can manipulate their way to a relationship because people can put on a face really good. Like who knows how, dude? I mean, I get convinced by. I was watching an Instagram ad for a kid's toy, and I clicked that thing, and I almost bought it. Like, it doesn't take much to be like, yeah, I'm in on this. Like, so someone could manipulate me. I'm not saying that I'm smart enough to avoid those traps. And if I made stupid decisions, I think the best idea is to sign a prenup. But here's the thing. That my prayer is, I don't want to be a 50 billion. I don't want to have that much money. But I would love, if I do have that much money one day, I would rather hope to find my wife before that cash is made.
Mm-hmm. You can't get out of a hypothetical question by saying my prayers that doesn't happen.
No, I gave you my answer, Trey. I said yes.
You said yes.
I
Okay.
said
You said
yes.
yes.
I would do it because here's the thing. I think. Okay, question. This might have been too late to ask. Can we the prenup? Can we do? Okay, so I know it's like a contract with is it just a certain percentage of your money, or is it because I know it's usually 50-50 in a divorce. So prenup would be like, okay, if we divorce, you get 10%. Is it just choosing a small, or is it protecting all assets?
If we get divorced, she's not getting any percent.
No,
But here's the
my
thing.
question
You're
is it
assuming
percentage?
by that
I'm asking a question, Mitch.
Right. Hold on. So my thought is and what I mean by a prenup is in the truest sense, I keep what I make and you keep what you make. Oh. Because I'm not assuming that you.
Here's the deal. 50
she
billion?
has
Okay.
$60 billion.
Can I revoke? Can I restate it? Yeah, because my goal, let me make this
Mitch
very
is
clear.
laughing 'cause he's
My
sexist.
goal is to marry a girl with a dowry. That's my goal. I'm after that dowry. Let me see that dowry. What's yo daddy do? That is the name
what
of my
that daddy
memoir. But because here's the thing. If I'm a 50, let's think about this really. I'm worth $50 billion.
Right.
If we get divorced, she gets 50%.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Yeah.
I'm still a 25 billionaire.
But here's the thing. I'm gonna get to that.
Revoke it.
Absolutely.
Revoke it.
This isn't a matter of are you scared you're going to go into abject poverty after she leaves you?
I'm already there.
Because you only have
I'm not worried about
I got 2 words for you, buddy. Top
It's this.
bunk.
Oh shit.
My fear in this hypothetical scenario is you don't know who is in it to just get your money.
See, yeah.
And who is in it to they actually love you. What, Mitch?
You are currently married.
I know.
But he's not a billionaire.
I'm not a billionaire either.
He
so
found
this is
love before
hypothetical.
money.
I love it. I don't know. Is my wife of 5 years? Is she in this for the right reasons? If I become a billionaire overnight?
The good news about my
I have so
marriage
much to think
is I
about.
already know that my wife's not in it for the money. We've already
that's
proved that.
that's the win. That's what you want to find.
Yeah. When we got married, we had to text each other permission to get Chipotle.
I
So-
love that.
So
Yes,
that's
still-
where we're coming in. So no, the reason. You're laughing about
I'm gonna
that?
text my wife. Can I get Chick-fil-A, please?
No.
Just one sandwich.
Nope.
Just fries.
Okay.
Can I get one sauce?
No. Sauce is free.
Okay, love you.
Okay.
No, that's why I'm fascinated by the questions because I'll never get to know the answer to this, like what I would think.
I don't think I'll ever get to know the answer to this.
Can I give my answer?
Oh, please.
Yes.
Get in
Which
there.
is the right
Because
answer?
Mitch is so pro-nup.
The answer is hell no.
Okay, I wanna hear
ain't
why.
getting a prenup.
Can you
the
convince
reason
me?
why, and this is the real reason, if I'm getting married, right, and I'm like, yeah, well, sure, we're going to get a divorce. Let me sign this contract saying we're going to get a divorce. That's my whole thing. It's like if you sign a prenup, it's you admitting defeat already into your
No,
marriage.
that's not true.
I can
That's
see that.
what
I can
it
see that
is.
angle. I can see that's what. But also at the same time, people change.
Yes, that's what it is. You're not saying I bet we're going to get divorced. You're saying here's the thing. I understand. I acknowledge we're both humans. We're both fallible.
Oh, there it
we
is.
can both change. And 10 years time from now, we might hate each other and then we might get divorced. And then by the way, guess what, bitch? You get to keep what you have and I get to keep what I have because I'm a 50 billionaire and you play tennis on Mondays.
Trey, does Gabby play tennis?
No.
Okay.
yeah,
so
see, it is hypothetical.
No. And then the other thing is
Phil's on my side. Phil's on my side.
That's
If-
fine. No,
if
here's-
you.
I-
Okay.
I
no,
like
no,
it.
okay. Just let me finish.
Okay.
I understand I am on the less romantic side of this argument.
Absolutely.
And you're talking to a guy who is sentimental, romantic as hell. I already have, like, me and Gabby are going to have a joint funeral, right? Like, we're going to be, we're going to live together to be 100.
What the heck? Did Gabby join a cult? Gabby, run!
Actually,
I assure you, we'll be dying on the same day.
We will have a joint funeral. It will be glorious.
like a pharaoh king. Yes, and once you die, Berkeley will be laid beside me, and we will go into my tomb into the Neverlands.
No, I what I'm saying is I understand it's not a popular thing, but I'm saying, like, in the case of being a 50 billionaire, because of how romantic I am and because I just want to know it's authentic and it's real, I fully believe that there are just so many people out there, not even just women, men too. There are just people that would overlook things they don't like about you because they know they're instantly going to be so wealthy when they marry you, when they hitch their wagon to yours. And that's what I don't trust. It's human nature. It's not this one person, and it's not me planning to divorce someone. It's just saying, hey, this is, and I would say, by the way, Mitch, let me fit. You're wearing my glasses.
Where the hell did you get
I
those?
was like, wait a minute. I can see less, and you look like me. Oh shit! I forgot my point now.
Oh, it's the glasses. You did it.
No. So no, forgot it.
Okay,
So I want to weigh in because I've had that same thought where I'm like, well, why plan to fail?
Uh-huh.
But the other side of that coin is if you get a prenup, you're saying I don't want you to ever have any financial incentive to leave me.
Oh yeah.
Oh
And-
shit, Mitch. You're served, bitch.
And I remember what I was gonna say. To add to that,
interesting.
It wouldn't be this thing. Because it is. Think about it. If they get with you and you're 50 bill deep, guess who controls the money? You do.
Oh.
If they leave you and there's no prenup, guess who is now in charge of 25 bill? Her.
Oh.
Him. They. Whatever have you.
Uh-huh.
So you're absolutely right that you are, by not having one, you are incentivizing them to leave you. And the other thing, what I was going to say that I forgot was, it wouldn't be like a sudden thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let them fall in love with me and get engaged, and then as we're doing our vows, be like, by the way, I do
Sign this if
promise that I signed a
if you sign
prenup.
I do assure you, your ass ain't getting no money if you leave me. All right.
It would be 6 months into our dating relationship. Like, hey, just so you know, because of my situation is not like most people's. And because of that, like legal reasons, I am going to have to, like, if whoever I marry, I am going to sign a prenup. Like,
So
how do you feel
think
about
we're
that?
gonna get a divorce?
No,
I like it.
No,
How do
babe.
you respond to that?
Babe, no,
Yeah.
never. No, I
But,
might have a
but
joint
if
funeral.
you're saying a prenup, that means that you want me to leave you, right?
in this conversation, in this moment, yes, I actually do want you to leave me.
What have I been doing?
This is the first time I've heard your voice. God, it is awful.
I have post nut clarity, pre nut. So
Bye. No, okay. You know why this hypothetical is hard for me is because I'm picturing my wife, and I'm like, there's no way.
that's why I didn't ask you.
There's no way in a
Mitch.
billion years I would
That's
ever
why
get
I
a
didn't
divorce.
ask you.
Yeah,
There's no
that's
way in
why he
a
asked.
billion years I'd ever get a divorce, Aaron. We're staying together forever. I don't know about a joint funeral. I assume we'll have separate funerals, probably.
statistically, hers will be after yours.
like a normal not cult driven marriage. We'll have a normal marriage, but it'll be yeah. I mean, because I'm saying when I married Erin, I was super poor. She was super poor. We were super poor, and so that was never a thought that crossed my mind. But no, I mean, I still stand by it. Honestly, I still stand by no prenup because in with Evan, if I have $50 billion, honestly, I don't care about losing $25 billion.
Yeah, I kind of have that. I do.
Honestly,
I
don't.
do like what you said about like, but you're not giving them an incentive. Like, because I could see an argument. Your underwear's on the floor. $25 billion. I could be worth $25 billion so fast, and then you're like, just do it, do it. The next thing you know, I don't know. That's a good question. Fun topic. I think the thing.
Divorce.
Here's the thing. Divorce, separation of love. It is interesting. No, because we're talking about how much of a bait I am. Literally, I think I just agree with whoever last spoke. I find myself in these debates being like, oh, that's good. Yeah, I do like that. And
Good point. Valid point.
That is a good point. And then Kurt Gabriel, you know what? I'm with Kurt now. I am such a beta. I am such a beta. I'm a youngest kid. That's what it is. I just follow.
You like people making decisions for you.
Oh my gosh, so much. For example, last night ordering food. So of course I have my own favorite pizza.
That's so
But
funny.
when I was a kid, I would always have Justin order first. I'm like, I don't, because I hate menus. I hate how many options there are. I really do. And I'm like, when I'm shopping for candy, I'm like, God, it's just too much. And so if somebody is in front, I'm like, hey, you order first, and then they will order first. I'm like, just double what they got. There's probably something very broken in me for that. That sounds like some therapy is needed, but it's so true. I hate making that's sad. Basic decisions. Ugh.
That's so funny because I'm the oldest sibling, and so last night when you're like, I want to get whatever you get, I'm like, I'm getting pepperoni pizza with mushrooms on it.
You said something about honey though, and that is what, because I love honey
Hot
pizza.
honey.
But I'm the oldest sibling of 6 kids, so I'm used to making decisions for everyone. That's why I'm bossy.
I love it.
That's why
Dynamics.
I find myself making decisions for people who never asked me to make a decision.
Okay. So
like, here's what we're gonna do.
So we have a youngest, we have an oldest. For second born, how does this work for you?
I always tell my family I got luckiest because I get to have an older brother, so I know what it's like to have an older brother. But then I also get to know that I have 5 younger siblings that look at me the same way I look at him. Ooh, so that's why, the first the worst, second the best. That I know that's just a saying, but that's how I look at it. I'm so glad I came second. And plus, I mean, he actually went to college, and he couldn't afford to drop out, and he's been bailing me out ever since. I wouldn't have made it on my own.
Brother. Let's go, brother.
Older bro.
Yeah.
I get that beat because I'm the middle child. I have older brother, older sister, younger brother. And so every combo I have.
You have, yeah.
And I love that feeling of like, I know what it's like to be a younger brother getting beat up on. I know what it's like to be an older brother scaring the crap out of my younger brother.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that. But when it comes to making decisions, I think like if Marshall would make a decision, I would normally go with the opposite of whatever it was.
Really?
I think like I always viewed Marshall as Mario. Marshall's my older brother. Marshall was Mario and I was Luigi. That's how I viewed it. And so if Marshall went left, I was like, time to go right.
Well, that's kind of like more like Wario. He's Mario and you're Wario.
Oh no, I'm not fat and evil. I'm tall, thin, and timid, and I'm scared of stuff.
Okay, then you're what's the other guy name?
Oh, no, Waluigi.
That's my go-to racer.
Waluigi, he's a good choice.
That's my go-to Mario Party.
Get out. There's something bonds us all, isn't it? Waluigi.
Go to Mario Party or go to Mario Kart character.
Luigi.
Luigi!
I'm always Luigi.
That is
every
a
time.
second board.
I'm a Luigi.
That is a second, because your older brother was Mario. And you're like, well,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
the brother.
Absolutely.
That's so sweet.
Mario's
Yeah.
getting all the coins. Luigi's like, I'll just follow you. This is great.
I was along for the ride.
No, Luigi's in his haunted house, being all freaked out and stuff. That's a deep cut Nintendo reference.
Some people are really going to appreciate
Yeah, people get
That's
that.
pretty
Luigi's
prevalent.
haunted house. Yeah, you get that.
all the Animal Crossing fans we gained from last episode are regular listening now. They're like, keep the hits coming.
What
we
are
like
they?
Mitch.
I'm just waiting for that Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild hit, baby.
I need that Switch. Talk about it. All right.
So we're done with divorce. We're
Yeah.
good with
I think we can move on.
So Trey's cool with the divorce. All right.
Next exhibit.
I kid. I joke. He's not cool with it.
I'm anti it.
Well, only if there's a prenup. He's cool with it.
Oh yeah, if there's a
There's a
prenup,
prenup.
no, it's very specific. If he has $50 billion, then he's fine with it.
Yeah.
Then and only then.
By the way, I want to say earlier when you went into one of your voices, I thought for a split second that you guys had a soundboard with a bunch of pre-recorded
Get
voices.
out.
I did. I was like, wait, where'd that voice
Wait,
come
was
from?
it when
And
I
then
was doing
looked
Clinton?
over. Yeah. No, not Clinton. I don't know. One of the high, like, cartoony characters.
Oh, is it Waluigi?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Phil's just over there, just Phil.
yeah. Phil's got the soundboard. Waluigi. Let's go.
A Nintendo Switchboard. Yeah.
That's what we need. That's what will make this show better.
I knew we were gonna find something for our Patreon. I knew it.
Subscribe to our Patreon and you will get all the soundboard noises.
It's just us for 4 hours. Whoa. Kind of obscure sayings. That chair doesn't go there.
Hey, okay. I want to talk more about the show. I want to talk about jokes because people listening to this, it's in the past. We did the show already. So,
Yeah.
what are our set lists going like? Kurt, we'll start with you because you're opening.
I'm pretty much gonna be doing the same set I've been doing. I've been making minor modifications along the way. I don't think did you guys hear my tranny joke?
Yeah. And
did?
and I
was
the
rough.
note that I was gonna give to you, you already made. Because in the first the video you sent me, you said transvestite. And then I was just gonna be, hey dude,
No, I
Just
said
say
tranny.
yeah, you
I
said
said tranny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then but last night you said trans person or something, or trans.
Yeah, I don't
You
remember.
said the better way to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Transvestite
if you're gonna
offensive?
make a trans joke,
Yeah.
use
Well,
the.
I almost went with transgender the first time, but then
Transgender,
I thought of oh, what's his freaking name?
Scott.
Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz has a bit. He's like, let's talk about these trannies. I don't get it. Like tranny, it's just he's like transgender, tranny, grandmother, granny. He's like, welcome to the English language, trannies. So I was like, I'm gonna stick with this. That's what I went with. I mean, I'll do transgender for the sake of.
Here's the thing.
Oh, do
I am the
you.
last person to tell you to bow to like politically correctness, especially. I mean, the audiences you're here in Reading. You're in
Yeah,
Reading.
you're
The
good.
audience you're gonna have. You could say tranny. The times that I choose to say the thing is if I know firsthand that people. That people in that demographic are like, no, it does hurt my feelings when you say it that way, So and tranny is something that I've learned over time from transgender people. They're like, oh, we don't like tranny. It's like, okay, well then just say transgender.
Michael Che had a
I thought
good
you were
joke
gonna say
about
from
that
tranny.
because Michael Che was talking to a trans person and he was like, "Why is it so offensive to call you tranny?" And then they were like, "I don't know." And then they said black with a Y at the end. I don't feel comfortable
You
saying
can
that.
say-
I can't
you
say
can't
that.
say
You can
black.
say it. Yeah, there we go. That was the word.
You said black with a Y at the end.
Yeah, I can't say it.
Spells it.
Black.
But I felt like that was a good comparison of like like how you wouldn't want to be called that. And
Well,
they
it's
wouldn't
just
wanna-
it is a little like minimizing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a little
yeah,
minimizing.
yeah.
It's like, Blackie. Yeah, Blackie's bad.
that's why I didn't say it, folks.
I'm like, no, actually, that's bad.
Yeah, say each other. Oh, go on, just say it, bro.
In that bit, Andrew Schultz addresses that. He's like, and I know what y'all are thinking. What if you called someone blackie? He's like, obviously that would be offensive. You made it longer.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
That's
he's like,
solid.
I've thought this through, trannies.
When I'm now trained to look at jokes that way, that's like, would that scale? So I try not to tell jokes that would only work in Reading or in like one state or another. It's like if you said transgender, that person can be funny for everyone. You know what I mean? Like it's like, I wouldn't have been into this sandwich if I knew there's going to be a pickle in it. That's funny. You can laugh at that regardless of where you fall, kind of on the political spectrum. So that was the only feedback I had for that. But I think it went really well last night. I think that would go well tomorrow.
Wait, you think it went well last night, dude? I thought I bombed.
No, that joke went really well last night.
Oh, that joke. Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought everyone bombed last night. I mean, except for you.
Yeah,
you were
no. Last night
like,
was not a great experience for anybody.
Yeah, it wasn't the comedians. It was like the crowd. I never blame the crowd. I don't want to say never and then proceed to blame the crowd, but I just feel like something was off that night. You know, it was. I don't know what it was. I can't put my finger on it, but I don't think it was because we weren't funny.
No, I think it was that. That we, as a collective, not blaming anyone, chose to put the most inexperienced people up first. And so there were a straight 20 minutes of no laughing at all. And when you blend that with the people who are going to the mic, half of them don't even know that they're at an open mic. They think they're just there to get a beer and wings on a Wednesday with their friends. And then also like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an open mic. They're like, what the actual hell?
Are you ready to laugh?
Yeah.
Not really.
And then they don't for a long time. That I think it really creates this weird atmosphere that's like, it's hostile for anyone. To the point where last night, all three of us said punchlines that have worked before way better and did not work as well last night.
Well, that was oh god.
And so and for the first time in my life, I saw Evan trip over his words, which I've never seen before.
That's a lie. I'm a stutter fest.
No. I mean, like on stage,
constantly.
I've never seen you trip over. It's usually like
it's so
you
funny.
get on stage and you instantly become the most eloquent version of yourself.
Well, I told you, I think it was like the fact that I was like, I told the crowd, I'm going to look at my jokes and I'm just going to find things I want. And then therefore you're not in the element. You're literally in two places. You're in, well, I kind of want to read that to see if I'm saying the joke how I want to say it, how I wrote it. That I think would go well. But then you're not actually engaging with the crowd, and your mind's literally, you split your mind to be in two places, and it doesn't go well. But oh man, the word I fumbled over could not have been funnier. So for the listener at home, quoting Mitch, the joke I do is a NASCAR joke, and a part of the NASCAR involves me doing. It's like the NASCAR's driving past as fast as they can, and there's a part where it says, F Joe Biden, but I actually say the F word. In the middle of the heat, like the NASCAR fan goes, F Joe Biden, but the stuttering of the sound of the car racing by, my brain mixed up the stuttering with the F word. So when I got to the F word, I was like, fuck, Joe Biden. And I was like, what just happened? I'm like, what just happened in my mind? Dude, as bad as last night was, I had a lot of fun because I was like, this is just
it felt
terrible.
bonding. I also like
it's great.
You won't say on the podcast. I will say it. The funniest part about it though, it wasn't fuck. You go fuck. And I scream laugh so hard because then I saw the panic in your eyes. That you were like, it's all ready for Evan or any of us, honestly, pushing it to say the F word at all.
And he said it
17 just screamed it 6 times. And people were like, oh, yeah,
because
okay, all right.
that's supposed to be my one edgy F word.
It wasn't even fuck Joe Biden. It was just fuck.
I was like, of course, it's the one word. Oh, that was a disaster, but it was so funny. It was just like, oh, of course, this is going so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
So, yeah, I wouldn't plan your set tomorrow based on how last night went.
Yeah.
I think that we know that when you're in a warm room, the jokes that you wrote are good. You've only got more comfortable and more reps on stage. Mm-hmm. And the only advice I would give to your set is just to give the jokes more time to set in.
Yes.
Because your jokes have kind of a slow burn, some of them.
Yeah.
So just give some space to let them marinate. And I think tomorrow you're going to be nervous up until the moment you get on stage.
Yep.
And once you look back at 100 people who are all smiling at you, you're going to feel that instantly. Like, oh, they want me to do well.
Yeah.
And we have gathered a pretty friendly crowd. I'm still nervous as hell.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very nervous. And, I've been doing this for a while. and I'm still so nervous. I couldn't eat lunch today hardly. But I also, by the same token, do feel like when you get on stage tomorrow, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. By how much people want you to do well. And then your first few jokes are going to hit and they're going to laugh really hard. And that momentum is going to carry you. It's going to make you more confident. And then it's just going to, you're going to have a great set.
Okay.
Absolutely believe that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, having a crowd on your side, you bring the energy, you bring the confidence, and like everything else will follow through, you know? So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, your
okay,
jokes are funny.
but so you started with your set list. So what else is it going to be after the pickle joke?
Well, so the entire premise of my whole set's both brain damage and living in LA.
Uh-huh.
So the whole living in LA, you get battered wife syndrome
Yeah.
is that's the whole premise. Now that joke, by the way, started when I worked at Trader Joe's like 3 years ago. So I the first job that I had after the accident was Trader Joe's, and they've told me now they almost fired me because I would like show up 2 hours late and they're like, where have you been? And I go, what do you mean? I thought I was supposed to be here at 3. And they're like, no, you're supposed to be here at 1. I'm like, oh geez. And I did that multiple times and I'd forget what I was doing all the time. I mean, I was in bad shape, but I would just talk to customers, and that's where I learned to loathe the question, how are you? I loathe that question more than anything. I mean, I'll be polite, you know, but you know, since we're among friends, like the amount of times a day, I literally want to start carrying around a clicker and just count how many times in one day I get asked that question. And at Trader Joe's, like I was on register for 3-4 hours of the day. Every single customer, how are you? Good. How are you? Good. And my whole thing is, okay, it's polite and I get that, but I'm your cashier. You're not going to tell me if you're not doing well. So I know what you're going to say, and you don't care how I'm doing, and you know I'm not going to be telling. So why do we do this whole thing? So what I started to do is I instead of asking how are you, I'd say, what are you up to today? Say, oh, what are you up to? And oh, I'm a student, blah, 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 all this stuff. And then we just get talking in a completely organic situation. And like I'd start talking about, oh yeah, I just moved down here from LA, and like I thought I loved it. And then that evolved into, oh yeah, I can't believe I stayed there so long. And then it was like, yeah, you know, I discovered when you live in LA, you get battered wife syndrome. And you're like,
That's
holy
awesome.
crap. Yeah. So it's evolved over time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's a great story.
Oh, thanks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Trader Joe's helping everyone out.
Trader
man.
Joe's. I used
TJ's.
to, when I was working there, I used to tell people, you know, they say Disneyland's the happiest place on earth, but it's not. It's Trader Joe's.
Dude, I
And
believe it.
Oh yeah.
That was the best job I ever had.
Oh man, you go there on a Sunday afternoon and the sun's hitting just right. And
I
you're
avoid it
just-
like the plague because
Okay.
I see that's unless you want to have 17 conversations with people that you sort of know.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying no, Evan.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What is
Go-
wrong with you?
Keep going.
You are more extroverted than I am. I'm saying it's a Sunday afternoon. You're wearing a tank top. You know, the
Wow.
sun's hitting you just right. It's warm. It's the sun's kissing your skin.
Okay.
And
You just did buys and tries
you
at the
just
gym.
did
Oh, so
buys
I'm
and tries.
pumped.
You're pumped, and then you just had
Okay.
a cold brew, and it's just hitting
Oh,
you
shoot.
just right.
Okay, you're
and
saying
you
all
walk
the
in
right
at Trader Joe's, and it's just like everyone has a smile. You know what I mean? The cashiers
That's
have a
true.
smile, and it's just like when you're shopping for things you know are going to be delicious. Nothing quite hits like that Sunday afternoon at Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's has the right kind of white people. Trader Joe's has, I think, cream of the crop white people go to Trader Joe's, you know?
The kind of white people that I, as a brown person, walk in, they're like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Yeah,
man?"
yeah. They light up when they see someone like, oh, diversity.
They're like, "About time."
I go, what's your name, young man?
Like, I'm aware that I should appreciate you being here.
I apologize for what my ancestors did.
None of this, none of this Whole Foods energy.
Yeah, Whole Foods is, a little pretentious. Trader Joe's, they have a good heart.
Whole Foods is like, "Oh, I didn't know that they accepted food stamps here." That's dude. If you shop at Whole Foods, it doesn't mean you're racist, but the chances are higher.
They're higher.
Yeah.
But no, but they're the sneaky racist.
It's like living on a plantation. Like, no, you inherited it, but maybe sometimes you look at it like, oh, you know, it'd be nice next to those cows.
What, Trey?
400
Hear me
just
out.
able-bodied black men.
We'd get a lot more
Again,
done.
Not all
we could use some real
plantation
nice
owners.
machinery. Yeah, we could. We could use some machinery.
You know what's better than
Or-
machines? Men.
I'm just trying to get work done a little more cheaper.
You know, machines need gas.
And we already got the food. We got a whole
tear
lot of it. A whole food. Whole Foods.
Whole Foods.
Oh, see? Full circle.
Full circle.
Full circle.
Hi.
Furl Circle.
Come on to Whole Foods.
So Kurt, is that your set?
You can have that joke,
Dude,
too.
I'm trying to keep it on track. You know, it was so funny when you made your jokes about LA. I loved it because I loved LA. I lived there for 6 years, and I definitely get the battered wife because like someone said that about New York. So like my improv coach, they were like, New York is like an abusive boyfriend. In the sense that you have some high highs and you have some low lows.
Yeah.
And it's like, she was like, one day I had the best night of my life, like going to an exclusive party that I never would have been to in a million years. And then on the way home, a homeless guy spit in my face on the subway. And it's like, that's New York, you know? And I feel like LA is that, but not as extreme.
Yeah.
To your defense, I think Mitch is still suffering from battered wife syndrome.
Oh, dude, I
He's
love
like, no,
Trump
she's great.
I've seen a psychologist since LA.
Yeah,
so-
Honestly, because I live in Atlanta, Georgia now, and like there are great things about Atlanta, but yeah, I miss LA.
From
LA,
one
I
bad
miss,
girlfriend to the next, you know. Just
Yeah.
Now Georgia, she's nice.
I've never been to Georgia. I don't want to
Georgia.
I don't want to say
You
it like
never
that.
been to Georgia.
Georgia. And I've been to. I'm gonna
Georgia. Yeah, it's nice. I like Atlanta, but yeah, it's a good joke. It's a funny, especially up here. Everyone's like, Reading is significantly better. I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's pandering at its finest because you're talking to people who are like, yeah, that's why I never moved to LA. They're crazy.
Yeah.
I knew I had a good reason.
Oh, well, you want to know what's funny about the joke is when I first wrote it, when I first started making the joke at Trader Joe's, I lived in San Diego. So
San Diego people hate LA.
Yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, when you live in LA, you get battered wife syndrome, and then you come to San Diego, and you're like, oh, that's so abusive, you know, blah blah blah. And then I moved up here, and I was like, well, I can't use that joke, so I'll just insert Reading here.
Oh yeah, it's
The
great.
good thing
yeah.
is you can probably use that joke most places you go because I don't think there's a single place in the world that wouldn't love to shit on LA.
Yeah.
Like if you were like, you know what I love about Atlanta is that it's better than
not
LA.
LA.
You
Yeah.
know what I love about Pensacola, Florida? It's not LA.
You know what I love about Flint, Michigan? Is that it's not Los Angeles.
Okay, so in your set, you have one line, and it's I don't have to worry about being like killed on the way home.
I don't have to worry about her killing me at night.
Killing me at night.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
that's outdated.
The one thing is about Reading is I do worry about
Yeah.
and
Oh,
some
yeah.
people do have. So I'm wondering if there's a way we can tweak
Yeah.
that line to fit, or maybe like
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have any ideas.
If you're I mean,
oh boy,
don't do this.
No, we can't talk. I don't even think we should bring it up on the podcast.
Okay, we
because I just think of friends and
Yeah, for sure,
I'm like,
for sure. Excited.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny
so
that you
sad.
say that because last week I actually looked up the sexual assault, the cities with the highest sexual assault, and Reading's one of the top 10.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
gotta be.
Top 10?
So
10?
I heard that and I was like, I don't know, maybe I should be scared of her killing me in the middle of the night.
Look at because my thing about your joke that I love, where you were like, you know, you like Los Angeles is like the girl you bring home to your wife does cocaine in the bathroom. I was like, yeah, that's super true.
Yeah.
And you're like, Reading is the girl that you bring home to your mom, and she's lovely, blah. And I was like, I don't know.
And she brings a bottle of wine to me. Parents,
Reading is the girl that you bring to your mom. She brings a bag of meth, and she has a few teeth
She
missing.
does a cheaper drug in your parents' bathroom.
Yeah, she like maybe she's been saved recently, you know. Yeah, maybe she found Jesus, but she hasn't found a good dental practice yet. She's still got teeth missing.
She can't afford Coke, so she just does whatever she found on the subway.
No, but here's the deal. Here's why that joke still works so with Reading, because it's not about actually what Reading is; it's how you've experienced it. Maybe.
Yeah.
So it's like you could bring. It's like maybe if you bring in some elements beforehand, instead of just jumping right into the battered wife syndrome, just talk about your time in Reading and how you've experienced it. Maybe the people you've met working at if you work Trader Joe's here.
You could talk about the views. You could talk about the mountain,
really
fresh air.
Highlight what good things are about Reading, and then go into it because the Reading's got its shit for sure. But LA, I agree. Like I lived there for 4 months, and I was like, I want to go back to Reading. I don't like this. So I think the joke still works. You don't have to cancel it. I think it's just more
Add
like
more to it. So
maybe.
I end up going into like, she's naturally gorgeous.
Yeah.
You know, and then I can
That's
just add on
great.
to that. Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Because naturally gorgeous versus like the fake plastic surgery.
Yep.
and,
Yeah,
like,
that
her mountains are real. Like, is there something, you know, her mountains are her mountains.
good.
Her
That's
heights are
a good
real.
line because mountains
So good.
equal boobies.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't even realize that. I'm kidding.
I'm so glad you're here. Yeah.
Oh, oh my God.
Thank you for that, man. It's the glasses. They up my IQ a lot.
No, yeah. See, but like that, because I like the natural beauty
Yeah.
versus, because it does. Like Reading's it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm excited for your set. It's going to do very well.
Thanks. And
Top 10 and
I did want to ask you guys. Yeah, top 10. That blew my mind. I wasn't even. I just looked up top 10 and I was like, Reading. What? Yeah. I did want to ask you guys about your thoughts about me having my phone on stage. So because
Do it.
Go for it.
Do it.
That's fine.
Whatever makes you the most. And also, you have a great joke that goes with it, dude. Do you always? If you have a piano, bring it. I mean, like literally, I'm like, yeah. Especially if
Stevie
it's your
Wonder
first,
taught us
this
one
is your
thing.
first time doing stand up.
Yeah.
Oh, do whatever makes you comfortable and have fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, like
Play with it.
I'm gonna be printing out my bullet points and I'm gonna have them on the floor.
Yeah.
Because there are like 3 jokes or 2 jokes at the end that I don't know super well yet. So yeah, I would say bring up your phone because it would rather like you be more comfortable than to be more professional.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, yeah, because the reason it's the brain damage. It's like I need something to refer to. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, and you literally have a joke about that. So
Yeah.
It's
Do
really
you
funny.
do you mean when I start out, like if you're judging me for the one I did last night?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that was the first time I did that.
Oh,
and
it's
I didn't
great.
even know if that
And
was good.
see, it's jokes like that you come up with on stage that you would never be able to write and that I love. So yeah, definitely use that.
Yeah, I think about that a lot too. And one of the things that scares the crap out of me about getting on stage is the improv moments, like the impromptu. Like one of the biggest laughs I got my first night was I said now I have a femur that's made out of metal. It's the second hardest bone in my body.
Right.
My thick skull is the first. And then I look at the crowd and I go, I didn't realize so many of my friends from church were going to be here when I wrote that joke. And then everyone just busted up laughing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm nervous for, I don't know what sort of impromptu moments that I'll have because I don't know if I'll rise to the occasion. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'll say, if you feel it, dude, if a little of that bubbling feeling, if you feel it, go for it. Because I'm sitting here and just in this conversation we've had throughout the podcast, I'm like, oh, you've got what it takes to do that. You're a smart, funny dude. So I wouldn't even doubt yourself. Like don't rely, like use the brain damage as a crutch. You're a funny guy. Just be like, I got this. Let's do this. Like if there's something funny that I want to say it. Like definitely just trust yourself in it. I think that's going to be a big part of like doing comedy is like, yeah, you got it. Trust yourself.
yeah, usually in my experience, if you think of something to say in the moment, it's funny.
Yeah.
Like it's just you're thinking of it because like, oh, this would work because I'm in this moment, I'm in this energy, this crowd, and this is gonna work.
Yeah.
You know, it's rare. It's for me. It's very rare that it's the improv moments that aren't funny. It's the stuff that I had planned out. I've written down like this is gonna work, and then I say it, and I'm like. That did not work. All right. Moving on. So yeah, you gotta just gotta trust your instinct on that one.
All right.
Sick.
Deal. Thanks.
Yeah.
I don't want you guys getting me any more cocky than I already am. My head keeps getting bigger every
Don't get
year.
penisy, kid.
Oh,
I'm not
that
gonna
was
be
the
able
other thing
to-
when you said my femur is like the hardest bone in my second hardest bone in my body. I definitely thought you were gonna make a boner joke.
Yes, and that's the idea of the joke. That's exactly what I'm trying to get you to think. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was with you on it. Because you're like, you're going to say boner. It's my thick skull. Yeah. No, I like it. It's great.
All right,
And
good.
it did work. The first time you said it so well, and then last night people didn't super catch on.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to feel discouraged about that because I had the same experience with jokes that I knew worked and didn't work last night. I would just kind of take last night off the table.
Last night was just a way to get out. Like, dude, there's a soccer game going on behind us. Like there's
Dude, it
TVs
was
playing
so
behind
bad.
us.
I
Like,
would
that's
turn the TVs off.
So that's what
It was-
necessarily
Yeah.
use
So-
that as a
But I
reference.
mean,
It's
you
a
know,
good joke.
But
It's a
if
good
you see like John Mulaney live, he normally has soccer going on in the background. Like
can do it.
all the greats. One screen has soccer, one screen has bull riding. But by the way, I saw the bull riding. I didn't know that not only does the bull rider get a score, but the bull gets a score. I didn't know that. It was like Brandon, 28, old Bessie, 34. I was like, what?
Actually, this is why, because if it's depending on the varying. I'm just making this up. I'm pretty sure though. It's the varying on how aggressive the bull was, because they have to take that into account. Because how they get the bull to be pissed off is they scrunch its balls up into its body. They literally rope it and tight, so it's just pissed.
I'd
Which
be
you would
mad.
be.
I'd be mad.
You'd be bucking around too.
I'd be
So
bucking so
they
much.
they get a bull because you could like if a bull just like walked out and the guy's like woo. Woo! The bull's just like, walking.
He's super chill.
The bull's like, actually, I'm okay with this. I prefer it.
He's like, yeah, actually, tighter, please. Actually, tighter more. More tight.
He just bends down, shoves his ass up in the air.
The cowboy's like,
well, folks, it's the first time.
You got a gay bull. That counts for less points for riding a gay bull. That bull wanted to be ridden. Let's be honest.
This is gonna dock him a big time on the scoreboard. Now Ryder himself is gonna score 100 points. That bull is going to be negative.
That bull, after the 8 seconds was over, laid on its back and said, just more, please.
Oh. I wish I was a female cow so you could milk me. I don't know. I don't know.
See, it's moments like that.
I don't know.
It's moments like that you want on stage. Yeah, you can take that line. You can. I wish I were. If there's ever some silence, you say, "I wish I was a female cow so you could milk me."
And she's a premise.
Just a
premise. All right.
Speaking of moments on stage where we improv, Evan, I want to go to your lobster moment. Let's talk about your set list next, and then
I'm excited for the set list. And then I've been refining today. The order of which the jokes are going to be told is not necessarily. I wrote more today because I've written a lot more than I have, guys, this entire podcast in the last 4 days. And so there's a lot of really good. I think there's a lot of good elements. Lobster is going to be fun. That's going to be a fun joke. I was just kind of rethinking through it. The improv moment of. Should I talk about the joke? Or
it'll be after.
That's
the show.
right. I just feel so.
Yeah, it's after the show.
I feel so dirty.
Really, I don't want to spoil it.
I don't want to say. I don't even want to speak it out loud because I'll probably change it in the last minute.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, so I've got lobster's joke enforced by aircraft. I wrote one today called Duck, Duck, Goose. The premise for that one is like kind of taking the childhood playground thing, just Xing out a lot of unnecessary fat with it, and kind of coming up with the idea of a dating app called Duck, Duck, Goose. I just had in my mind like duck, 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 goose. because the whole idea is just like that is what Duck, Duck, Goose was in the first place.
Yeah.
And then I want to do this scene where it's the crush is coming to Duck, Duck, Goose, and she's like duck, duck, and she's getting she's getting closer, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's gonna goose me. And it's like duck, duck, and then you're like, I wonder, what's her favorite flower? Duck, duck. What should we name our first kid? Duck, duck. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm like, I have to conceal this boner. I can't run with this boner. Like something like, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to run with a boner? And then it's like when she gets to you, she's like, duck, and then it's like, I'm gonna die alone. And so I'm gonna die alone, and then she gooses Connor, the kid who can do the back handsprings, and that's that joke. There's some more to be written. I think it's gonna be super fun because what I'm trying to do is in each main section. Some of my favorite moments in a joke telling is like the NASCAR. Just when I get to be loud and be like, oh, I didn't see that coming. For example, the lobster joke, how I ended it last night. I'm keeping that. Yeah. With the screaming humans getting boiled versus the screaming lobster getting boiled.
Yeah, well, could you kind of like retell, low-key retell that joke for the podcast?
That's right. Okay, so the joke is I found out, well, I had a real recollection. It wasn't actually from a smell, but I'm going to bring that up into a joke. But I was like, grocery stores don't serve live lobsters anymore. I was like, I haven't smelled the lobster section in years. And I was like, what happened to that? And so there's going to be a joke about gym shorts or unswiped gym, like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I did bring up like feminine products last night, impromptu. And I don't know, did we film any of that?
Gabby did, I think.
Okay, if Gabby did, because I have no idea how I brought up feminine products because that was not written or thought of. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm saying this right now. And so, but the idea of that, and I Googled why lobsters are no longer sold in stores because a lot of animal rights activists discovered that lobsters can't turn off their pain receptors when suffering. So humans have a thing called shock. And so when we go into pain, our body nervous system revs up so high, the brain actually shuts itself down. And then you actually go into shock and then you pass out while, like if you were being boiled, you would be like a lot of pain, but then your body's quickly going to respond, shut the whole thing down, make you pass out. And then you're going to die in like 45 seconds. But a lobster doesn't. So what I did in the joke was I said, well, for example, if you're a human and you get put into a large thing of boiling water, it's going to be like, and then I scream for like 10 seconds, and then your body goes into shock, and then you're dead, and it's fine. But if you're a lobster, oh, there's you have people downstairs, don't you?
The lobster says that?
Anyway, but like the idea is that I'm just going to really milk that maybe for 40 seconds. I don't know how long we're going to go for before the lobster dies. But the ending joke, in which I don't know where to put in the set yet, it's probably going to be later, but I just have the scene where Joan of Arc is being burned at the stake, and she's getting lined up, and she's like, oh my gosh, like, this is going to be awful, this is going to be terrible, and then she looks over to see a lobster who's also tied up at the stake, and he just goes, this is going to be a lot. It's like, this is going to be a lot worse for me. Like, don't worry, you're going to be fine. This is going to suck for me. And I don't know where to put it exactly, but I know, I told my sister that joke today. I read her that line and she laughed at that specific line.
Really?
And so I was like, okay, there's a place for it.
Yeah.
Not quite sure. Can I just pull up my set list real quick?
Yeah, no, you should.
You guys feel free to chat for a second while it won't take long.
While you do that, I'm going to grab my set list too. So then when we get to me,
it's really just, this is just, I'm just going to, I won't go through everything. This is what I have so far. Speed enforced by aircraft, tornadoes, ice skaters, husbands, NASCAR, Christian athletes, spontaneous worship, lobsters, British TV, depressed Google searches, and Duck Duck Goose. Now, those aren't necessarily...
you got 30 minutes.
So the thing is, if that there's a lot of cutting to be due. If each joke can run 2 minutes, I've got about a 20-minute set, which is, I should be. No joke should go for longer than 2 minutes. But the thing is, I'm going to have excess just in case, but not like if it's... I don't know, just a couple back things and just going to see where, because I want to be able to play the audience as well. Like I want to have my set list, but I also want to be able to play the audience. Like, okay, I'm cutting this joke shorter than I wanted to. I'm moving on to this backup joke that's going to transition. So there's still some work. You know what the thing is? I know this about myself, and it's good. I'm a procrastinator, but the fact that I'm a little prepared is great.
Yeah.
The fact that I have jokes with things that are written out and thoughts behind it, the best place I could be. Because tomorrow, I know that I'm going to be able to sit down and really like that brain, that pressure ticker that I need is on. Like I already know tomorrow morning it's going to be wake up. All those things are just kind of organized, and it should be a pretty decent set. If not tomorrow, hopefully by Saturday.
That's the good thing about having two shows.
But I'm excited. No, I think I'm excited for the jokes. Ice Skater Husband is funny. I'm excited to tell that one a little bit and better detail than I actually have at any open mic because it's written out. But yeah, Lobster is my most excited one, I think.
Yeah.
It's just fun. It's just it's a fun story. It's like,
you told me
who
that
thought about
yesterday,
lobsters?
I was like, that's awesome.
Just
like I instantly started
stupid.
laughing. I was like, that's an amazing premise.
And I was telling the joke to my sister. She's like, what? They're because I feel like everybody is just, they just kind of slowly went away. But I remember so vividly walking through Albertsons and being like, oh, like, what is that smell? and so, Albertsons, dude. That's a little Midwest grocery store for you.
You know what's so funny is when you first start talking about lobsters, I was like, dude, that's so crazy. Like, this is insight into a brain damaged mind.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I actually just heard yesterday that like lobsters don't die. And I almost said that. I was like,
No
hey,
way.
by the way, did you guys know that? And then I was like, oh yeah, I heard it when you went up.
I had this joke that was terrible. It was a high school joke, but I hosted this talent show, and we would have to like come up with sketches and skits between each thing. And we had this one thing where we didn't have anything, and we had nothing. Okay, we've kind of used all our stuff. We had one gap that we didn't know what to solve for. And I was like, we're doing the goldfish joke, and they're like, no. I'm like, we're doing the goldfish joke. So me, Jeff, and Nate go out on stage. And I'm like, guys, this is crazy. I just found out, this is wild, that goldfish only have a memory for 3 seconds. I'm like, that is insane. And then we all just kind of sit there for a second, like, that's great. Dude, that reminds me, I just heard the wildest statistic about goldfish. Really? And we went back, because it was like a 2-minute setup for this band, and we did it for 2 minutes of this goldfish. And then at the end, we're like, I'm sorry about that. But it worked for what it was. But the goldfish joke, man. Yeah.
Did people like it?
Yeah, I think it was like, ha ha ha. And then for a while, it was like Family Guy. Like, this is going on too long. You laugh initially, you stop laughing. And then by the time
it comes back,
just because we are still doing this.
Yeah.
And luckily, the two guys I was with, we really changed up every time how we said it. Sometimes one of us was about to say it, and then the other one person interrupted, like, oh, actually, sorry, before you say that, there's something I want to say. And so luckily, they were able to kind of improv and make it more fun. But yeah, the goldfish joke, dude.
Two minutes right there.
Yeah, if it comes down to it.
If it comes down to it, any of the four of us, we can go goldfish.
Take the goldfish.
Hop up on stage.
You're out there. 8 minutes go by.
Just drenching in sweat.
So anyways, do you know this about goldfish?
You guys heard about them?
You forget the goldfish joke.
Something about goldfish. Shit. Anyway, that's myself. I mean, I bullet pointed as I usually do right through them.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how comfortable do you feel about doing that tomorrow?
Oh, I'm sitting at 6, 7, but I'm not worried. Dude, I was looking through my jokes today, and I wanted to. Frick! I don't want to take up too much time.
Take up all the time, bro.
I wanted to. I wrote out some joke that wanted to get your attention. Yeah. So. It's a quick thing, and I'm wondering if it's even worth it, but I'll read this. So can I be real with you for a minute? I can't stand Instagram pastors. I understand that they may be leading people to the Lord, but it seems that they care more about people following them instead of Jesus. But it's the way in which they communicate that I can't actually stand. It makes me want to barf how Instagram influencer pastors speak. Want to segue into a Jesus doing an Instagram woman at the well type thing, skipping past that. And then the meat of where I want to go is, and when the hell did modern pastors adopt the pedophile glasses? They're all wearing those weird, thin, wired aviators. And if there was a modern pastor driving a van, I wouldn't be able to tell if they were trying to abduct my kid or just take them to church camp. One thing I always loved, and then I go into the Christians preaching thing, but I'm wondering if it's worth mentioning. Like, I kind of like the aviators joke. I don't know. That's that joke.
Hey,
what do you think?
I think it's funny.
Tell me, because
Aviators?
we can cut it right out.
I think it was pretty good. I think that's one of those things where it's like you'll have to feel it. Yeah,
Okay.
you'll have to feel like if they're super on your side, then anything will hit. But yeah.
You're saying this joke will not get them on my side? Check. Got it.
I'm saying
Say less.
that you know the celebrity pastor or the humble brag pastor who's talking about his hot wife.
Yep.
I'm saying start with that.
And then go
and
and
then
tie it with a bow.
It could be a tangent. It could be a tangent on him.
It's like, and also, and also, why is he wearing? Is he wearing those weird thin wire glasses that I can't tell if he's a pedophile or a pastor?
Yeah, the Jeffrey
and
Dahmer glasses.
You could do kind of like a little alliteration. I can't tell if he's a pedophile or a pastor with the glasses he's wearing.
Could be a fun game show.
He's like pedophile or pastor? Yeah, all right. This man's driving a white van. That's I love a fake little segue.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Pedophile or Pastor. This week, Judah Smith. It's tough. Okay.
He's got a thin mustache. Probably a pedophile. The glasses. Probably a pedophile as well.
Okay.
Pasty white. 3 strikes. I don't know, but he's holding a Bible.
No, he is an Instagram. He's got a private jet. Oh.
They zoom out as Justin Bieber next to him.
Trick question. He was both.
That's good.
I mean, yeah, pedophile. There we go. That's why we do this. Yeah. That's why we do it, because that could be a fun
pedophile or pastor.
I'll write that down. Pedophile or pastor game show. That's fun. All right.
I think it's like the least fun game show of all time.
My mom's gonna love this. Is your kid going to church camp, or are you never gonna see him again? The consequence is that your kid is right by you, and you have to let him get into the van. Okay. Okay. All right, you got 50 seconds on the clock. 50 seconds on the clock. Okay. Oh boy.
You choose the van, or we'll choose for you.
You gotta flip a coin. Oh, I'm sorry. He was a pedophile. Good luck next time. He was a Christian. No, that's terrible. Oh, that's awful. That's maybe too far, but pedophile or
touch. I think it's just far enough.
Because I mean, there are gross people in the church. There's no denying that. So.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, no, this is why.
I have not heard any of this.
No, for sure.
Well, but not like in the Catholic Church, though, right?
No, they're the cleanest. Man, they're great.
But they drink all that wine.
Yeah.
What, you mean those guys that aren't allowed to have sex with anyone and are always around children?
Wait, the guys who make you tell them all your dirty secrets behind a curtain? Yeah, no, you're fine.
And you can't see their lap or what they're doing to their lap?
Hey, Pastor,
I'm sorry. Someone had to say
I'd love to tell you what I'm feeling, but can you stop playing with that paddle? Can you stop playing with that paddleboard?
Mitchell Mack checking out. Mitchell Mack has clocked out of this joke.
That is terrible. Are you done shucking that carrot over there? Or? I'd really like to confess. Pastor? Anyway. It's not pastor, it's maybe father, wouldn't it? You wouldn't call him pastor.
I'm sorry, did you run up a flight of stairs before you came to this confessional? Like, you're breathing so heavy.
There's our Catholic church joke for the night. Good God.
So am I forgiven? He's like, huh?
No.
What? I'm sorry, what? Like, am I forgiven? Oh, yeah. You're forgiven.
oh,
You're good. You're good.
You're good.
There are way worse people out there than you.
Here's what I'm going to need you to do. I'm going to need you to probably, come back next week, and if anything happens, you come running right back. That's so terrible.
That's so dumb.
Oh, if you were like proud to tell your family that you were on a podcast tonight, don't.
I'm debating sending
Yeah.
this to my mom. Yeah.
Don't.
Hey, we'll do a Kurt's mom edition.
We could do that.
What
my
the
gosh.
the joke is that we were all initially concerned about what our moms would think, and then none of our moms listened to to an episode.
Yeah.
They're like, "I'm sorry, are you Joel Osteen's guest? No, okay. Well, I'm gonna wait till
Then I'm passing.
then I don't have the time to listen to your little podcast thing."
Oh my gosh, what a tangent.
Are you gonna have Hillsong and Paul Balash join you? Then I'm out.
Nope.
How about this? Hillsong's canceled now, so that's interesting.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know enough details for it to be segment,
To go in depth, but
but yeah, the pastor resigned, and there's a whole documentary out now. So
I gotta be honest, I eat that shit up.
I know you do. You're a megachurch survivor.
Dude. Mega churches. It's the exact opposite of what Jesus wanted. The exact opposite.
I don't know.
I-
With
I-
5,000
That's all I gotta
with
say.
five loaves. That's,
Yeah, but that's the
You're
thing.
so mega
It wasn't every Sunday. He didn't have a giant, building just for that. It was outside. They all came to him by chance. Fish wasn't planned.
Sounds like you're against church potlucks.
Church potlucks. Jesus would not be on board. If you're trying to feed people, pray for the food to multiply. We made one pot of chili, and it was just every spoon. We just kept getting more.
Yeah.
we should work that out, Mitch. We should talk about this.
Yeah.
That should be
should.
the thing we debate in one of our debate segments that we're going to have
Yeah.
upcoming.
Pro or meg? Because that's interesting.
Pro or anti
Pro or anti-mega church?
There's pluses and negatives to all. There's
Well,
see, here's the deal.
that's what makes
there's
a good debate,
pluses and
Evan.
exactly. But I'm going to say before this, there's pluses and negatives. Extremely to the megachurch, of course, but also to the small cult one that sprouts off and doesn't let anybody in. So it's
Cults let people in.
That's true.
Wait.
That's like their best feature is that they're very inclusive.
Yeah.
we gotta let people. You're very right, but I'm just saying, like,
Ever seen a small
each
cult?
church has its pluses and negatives, and like we've talked about, fame. It's the same. I mean, maybe that's why I agree. No, Mitch, no, hear me out. I am with you so much on
I'm hearing
much.
I know because
But-
we're
but
like farming.
When you're huge, when we talk about ranching, but when you're so big, so many people are throwing themselves at you, you're way more likely to make those mistakes or whatever. It's tricky. I usually will rant about this with my family, like in a quiet set. But I almost won't touch on it publicly. It's just because it's like not yet. One day I'll make a statement, but I'll be the mediator for that though. I'd mediate the shit out of it. Are you pro mega churches?
See, but that's the thing. You're not
Someone
in your
who-
heart.
Who
in your,
hasn't
you're
been
not.
to my mega church in 3 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. But it'd be. I'd debate it though for the sport of it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not exactly pro Will Smith slap being fake, but it's funnier.
You could
and
fight.
more
Yeah.
entertaining to hold that position. So yeah,
Steady.
I'll do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Debate.
All right.
Let's do it. Gateway Church in Dallas. Why aren't you going? That's the question.
Why aren't you what?
Going.
Going?
Yeah.
They stopped?
Okay.
I missed it. I zoned out for 5 minutes.
Stop.
All right.
Anyways,
Who's next? Trey, are you going or am I going?
just a premise. Dealer's choice.
I'll go. I got my phone out. All right. So, set I'm doing. Got 20 minutes set. I'm opening with a classic joke. I look like I'm a Mormon. Hilarious.
Love it.
Everyone likes that because I look like a Mormon. My other joke, I look like right after I lost my virginity, I found it again. Hilarious because that always works. And then I talk about how I was in a movie called Ballbusters that nobody's seen. And I show my butt in this movie. And I told my older brother, and Marsha's like, you better watch out. That's a slippery slope because one minute you're showing your butt, the next you're doing pornography films. And then I talk about how I would never do porn because I'm married. And then I have this joke about like sex married life. And then I have another reason why I would never do porn is because you have to be good at sex to do porn. And then I talk about how I don't have any big dick energy. And that's the beige bulge, like, I look like I don't have a dick at all. And then I do a Ray Romano impression.
So good.
And then I go into my in-law toaster bit, how my in-laws they have this weird relationship of like, yeah, since I'm a comedian, they're like, oh, you got to tell this story on stage. And, oh, you can't tell this story on stage, Mitchie. And so I do that. I'll talk about how I'm going bald. I'll talk about how the front of my head looks like a regular 20-something, how the back of my head looks like a midlife crisis. And I talk about how I called my dad for some advice, and he gave really shitty advice. Then I do a Joe Biden impression. Then I talk about how I'm too nice for basketball. And then I have a bit about the Power Rangers that we haven't gone over.
Ooh.
It'll be fresh. It'll be fresh for the show. And then I have a joke about Rogaine, where I compare it to Viagra. And then I have a joke about how I want to cut off my hair, but I don't want to look like a white supremacist, and how I talked to my barber about that. And then I have an Animal Crossing joke. And then I have an escape room joke with my family.
Oh, so excited.
And then after that, I have a joke about that I've done before, about how life is disappointing and how my mom used a butt thermometer on me until I was 7 years old.
That's your closer?
That's my closer.
I love that.
Oh, it's good. That's great.
I love that. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Many of those jokes, if you guys have been listening to the podcast, know that a lot of those Mitch worked out on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, especially escape room and Animal Crossing. I worked out with you guys, and I have a new intro for the escape room bit, which I really like.
You want to talk about it? Or
since they won't be there, I'll talk about it. So Because I wanted to go in like a metaphor about how like late my family is and how annoying it is to plan an event with my family. And so I'll say something along these lines where I'm like, I love hanging out with my family, but planning an event with my family it is so difficult. I want you to picture this, okay? You just dropped a bunch of grapes on the floor. And all the grapes have ADHD. And you go to pick up some grapes and you put them in the container. You go to pick up more grapes, you go back to the container, and it's empty. It's an empty container. How'd those grapes escape? I don't know. So now you're kind of mad at the grapes. And then all the grapes are like, oh, Mitch, why are you being so anal? And you're like, well, because we got to make a dinner reservation on time. Grapes. And then one of the grapes is like, well, I'm going to go make a snack. And you're like, no, you can't make a snack because we're going to go out to dinner. And then one of the grapes is like, Mitchie, sweetie, we don't have enough seats. I counted wrong. Would you mind sitting in the trunk? And then I'm like, yeah, you know what? I would push the goddamn car if that gets us out of the door faster. And then all the grapes are like, whoa, Mitch, what's wrong? Are you okay? Something seems off with you, buddy. And I'm like, nothing would be wrong if you would all just get in the goddamn car. Grapes. And then I go into the escape room bit. And so,
That's gonna be amazing.
And I like that a lot more because my other bit was like too act out and it was like not precise enough, and I feel like that's so I feel like I landed on a good place to intro that joke.
Definitely.
It's got good energy. Yeah.
Super fun. The only thing I would maybe question, and please throw this away if it would cause more harm than good, but the ADHD line, I wonder if you introduce that a little later after you've more clearly established that the grapes are your family. That's I just wonder, but I
don't know, like because when I said that, I don't know.
But you've already tested the joke though.
I mean, I tested it out in front of Erin, my wife, and she when I said and all the grapes have ADHD, she laughed at that line. We'll see how it does on Friday night. If anything, I can switch it around later.
Definitely. Yeah.
But it was.
That's a great bit, man. I'm excited, and that's gonna set up the escape room thing so well.
Yeah. It's that contrast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exciting.
Can I just look through your set list?
Yeah, go for it.
Because one thing I wanted to say, and I brought this up before we started the podcast, was how freaking funny I laughed at your improv of Donald Trump playing Monopoly after Biden. If you do the impression, I don't know what you're planning to do with the impression of Biden. But what you said,
the same thing.
What you said, but if you could just drop Donald Trump afterwards, because I know, I'm saying for the Reading crowd, they're going to love it. And also what you said, like everybody starts off with $100, but then when you went to like, and then my dad gives me $1 million. It was just that the ideas you had on that were so funny, impromptu, and I know if you wrote them out, they would be great. So
I definitely could ask.
The contrast is so funny. Ask, but then like do it.
Yeah, I'll ask with the intention that
because I thought it made it funnier because you have one president, because you have the contrast of the presidents. You have one president who can't he can't
get a word out.
He can't get a word. The thimbles, the stuff you said about thimbles, and like he's like, gotta go because I really smell out of jail, man. Like if you start saying like things like about Monopoly that are just close enough but not right, that's your Biden. But then you have Mr. Business Trump himself. Kind of a sleazy railroad man, whatever, that side of Trump.
He was born with Boardwalk and Park Place.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a really fun contrast. Like, I'll start off with Boardwalk and Park Place. Like,
Quite frankly, I always start off with the deep blues. Okay, folks. I'm not gonna play unless I get a full Monopoly from the beginning.
It's perfect. Yeah. So, yeah, I think the two contrasts that made that joke because I think I laughed really hard at the Biden, but then I think I laughed harder at the Trump just because the contrast.
I'll agree.
So
It's
funny.
It would kill tomorrow.
Oh,
And like
your impression is so good.
Because I did the Biden impression, and someone was like, "That guy's in charge of our nuclear codes." And then I had this joke about how it was like, what if someone was like, "Sir, we need to do the nuclear codes right now." I was like, "All right, well, let me tell you a quick story." No, sir, we need to hit him now. All right, well, back in Pennsylvania, I had a dog named Skipper. Sir, you don't understand. We are at war right now. All right, I'll get there.
Yeah, you don't have to be worried.
Yeah, I was like, Skipper would only walk if it was raining outside, or was it only if it was dry?
If you can bring in the thing where he goes, "Oh no, not that." No. He's hit the button. Not the button. Not the button.
No, we won't do that right now. We won't. No. What are we? What?
If you say like something like nuclear launch boat or something like so like close to the word code, I don't hit the nuclear launch boat. Not boat. Like whatever code, whatever a funnier word than
Sir,
boat.
you need to press the button.
We can't do it until you say code. All right,
No,
the nuclear goat.
I got goat.
I got my nuclear code on. Is that it? Yeah. Nuclear? No, sir. Code.
Code.
Road. God damn it.
I think that's super funny.
You already know this, but anything you do making fun of Biden will absolutely kill here.
Yeah,
but I will say that the crowd we're going to be working with this weekend, like as much as Redding gets a rap as like ultra conservative, it's not ultra conservative. It's like middle to conservative, and so your Biden to then juxtaposition with Trump will absolutely murder.
Well, I mean, every time I do Biden, like in Atlanta, which is pretty, I can't think of the opposite of conservative, but it lands there really well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think we've all seen Biden on,
It's not a secret at this point.
Terrible at talking.
Yeah.
The honeymoon's over.
Yeah.
Biden's an idiot.
Oh my gosh!
Like for 3 months, I was like, man, it's great that you're not Trump. And you're like, oh well, I mean, but we could have got someone better. I mean, but
What's Kamala saying? She's got some ideas, right? So we get her if you die. Is that
interesting? Okay.
Dude, the videos though of her like the meme being like Kamala talks like I'm trying to hit a word count on an essay. It's like the thing about the country of the United States of America as a woman is that in this country of the United States is this. Abortion is okay.
Dude, I'll be honest. I haven't seen Kamala since the inauguration.
Dude, they're hiding her, dude. They're hiding her.
I have not seen her. And
she's a failed experiment.
Oh, she's
so
whole
pretty
administration
too. She's so pretty.
is.
I was cheering for her. I wanted her to be good. I was like, you're half black and somehow half Indian and also half white.
I was rooting against
there's
them
a lot
the whole
to
time.
cheer for there.
The thing was, when I was living in Chicago, I didn't tell people I was rooting against them because I wanted to work.
Yeah,
but
you're a closeted
now I'm
conservative.
back in. Oh, I was, and the thing is, I had my buddy. Me and Nick would go talk, and Nick is just the man. And he claims to be a socialist, and I was like, well, I'm definitely more like pro-America. But every time we would have a talk, I'm like, we agree on everything. I was like, so I've always said like, I like to put myself more in the moderate lane, which I do find myself. But like I've said before, there are certain things where I'm like, okay, well, no, we're just avoiding truth here. Let's get back to truth. But hey, to each their own.
Yeah.
And it's good to be back in Reading where I can wear a cowboy hat. Not that I'm a cowboy, but I could if I want to. And that feels nice. Yeah. Go.
Politics.
Trey, do you want to go into your set?
I'd like to talk about politics more.
Okay,
until
so
we get to a point where we are out of
welcome
common
to
ground.
Unpaid Regulars, now sponsored by Daily Wire.
Daily Wire, but also I forgot
Trevor
the
Noah's
name I was
Comedy
going to say
Central.
the name of Moderna.
Oh,
Cut it, Phil. Shit. I bombed at my own podcast joke to say we're somehow sponsored by the Daily Wire, but also Moderna.
Moderna. We don't know what we are killing it.
We just need money. Hey, if you're a platform, you can advertise here.
Yeah.
If you have a product, we'll push it.
Yeah, our commercials start off with like, listen, I don't believe in this shit at all.
Yeah.
But if you do,
This week's episode is brought to you by Yarmulkes. Buy Yarmulke. Cover the back of your head and look stylish doing so. Our next sponsor is the swastika flag. Are you needing a new swastika flag?
have you been thinking I could use it? Out. Yeah, here we go. Let's not forget about sunproof burqas. We like to the burqa that keeps you cool in summer heat and keeps you warm in those winter days. Burqas. We just do all religion headwear. Dude, that's a great idea for a store in the mall. Just
Religion headwear.
religion, and it's just a bunch of sexy like Islamic and Jewish people, and then maybe some like Amish people.
And then a cowboy hat, like bedazzled with a cross on it.
Welcome to religious headwear. What can I help you with? Oh my gosh,
Dude, that does suck about being Protestant is that there's no sexy
we don't
headwear.
have a head. We don't have.
Dude, I'm
headwear.
telling you, I
Wow.
would in an alternate
We
universe,
have
I
it
would
rough.
get within a Mennonite girl. Absolutely.
You would get it.
I would get within a Mennonite girl.
Okay, so
They've got the little hoods that legit
yeah, they're
to
the
back.
hoods.
They're like
yeah,
nuns.
Yeah.
Nuns
House
up
on the
top.
Prairie. House on the Prairie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
we kind of have beanies are cool headwear. I mean,
Well, you know what?
that thin beanie.
You know what
that beanie that doesn't cover your ears. Like, what the f are we doing? That doesn't help your ears stay warm.
You know what the headwear is for Protestant women?
What's that?
Being able to show their hair.
Oh,
Being allowed to show their... What? I'm just talking logistics here.
and you know what? Just they're so progressive that they'd probably shave it. You know, they're just they'd probably like it's a look. They're the one religion that has the freedom to.
My
have hair.
computer's on 1%,
Oh,
and my set list
get
is on
there.
my computer.
You texted it to me though, right?
I did text it to you for a safeguard.
Get in there. Oh god.
You know that I got good battery.
I do. I also know your phone's not being used to record this podcast like mine is. So there's the. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna go off the phone. Yeah. Screw this computer.
Just do it. Just do it, man.
I'm gonna Nike and
Does
just
mind
do
if
it.
I drain the old sea dragon?
Oh please.
Actually, please do because I actually need to as well.
No, all right.
Your Loch Ness munch.
Yeah, mine is not a sea dragon.
I could never call mine that confidently.
Mine is a goldfish.
With the memory of one as well.
Do you guys mind if my tadpole sweats a little bit?
So you
I have a question for you. Did you use the face wash or the actual hand soap?
That's a great question.
Because I used the face wash. It was right next to the sink.
Yeah.
And I pumped. I was like, that's a big bottle of hand soap. And I'm washing my hands and I look, I'm like, oh, it's face soap. Let's hope it works for
soap
these
is
hands.
soap. Soap is soap. I live
Soap
by
is
that.
soap.
What
is
has
soap.
more soap, face soap or hand soap? Which has more cleansing
Probably hand soap.
property?
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like
What
like the
is
head
more
of stuff.
soap?
What's got more soap?
Face soap or hand soap?
This soap's for my face. This soap's for my hands. What gets dirtier? My face is dirty. My hands are dirty.
I think what's the deal? If I wash my face with my hands, will the hand soap face soap?
My hands touch my face. My face touch my hands. They're the same.
They're one and the
It's
same,
the same
folks.
soap.
They're one and the same.
Okay. Anyways,
Dumb.
Very dumb. Okay. So I'm gonna go through my set list. Basically, some of this is highlighted and it should not be highlighted.
Uh-oh. Off to a rough start.
Well, you. Come on, headliner.
I'm going to open with, I believe, being half black and, interesting mix. I'm black enough to need to purchase cocoa butter.
Love it.
White enough it has to be organic.
Yeah, that's a good line.
That's so good.
And then I think I'm going to do my new addition to that, which is I'm like I'll shop at Nordstrom, but I'll also fuck up a Ross dress for less.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like,
That hit really well because you used that last night, yeah?
last night, yeah.
It went very
My
well.
first time.
Mhm.
It was my first time to say the F word on stage. It felt
Not mine.
last night was like your 10th through 19th.
It was simultaneously your first and 19th time to say.
It was. God,
I blacked out what happened.
what did I do? Anyway, sorry.
Please say anything but say as long as I didn't say the F word, I'm fine.
Okay, if I said it,
say the F word 19 times.
I could have said it once, but how many times did I say it? You said it a lot. You said it a lot.
Fucking fucking McFuckerson. Mother, what did I say? Pastor John. What did I say, Pastor John? Can I still speak to the children?
Did I lose my job?
Absolutely not.
Oh my gosh. Continue, Trey. Go back to your set.
That'd be a great way to get people to start coming to your church, by the way.
By the way, our pastor has Tourette's. This is going to be a good time. Buckle up.
You never know when he's just gonna just blow it.
Welcome, Tourette Pastor. All right, go for it. I'm done. I'm not going to go into
Clocked out.
I'm done.
So I'll start with that, and then go into Black Guy Starter Kit, talking about moving to Reading, and there not being a lot of diversity here. And when I moved here, people were trying to hook me up with girls who only wanted to date black guys. And I'm like, here's the thing. If a girl wants to dating a black guy experience, that's not what I provide. If anything, I'm dating a black guy starter kit. And then I go into why I am like just kind of an entry level. You guys have heard this.
And it's really
it's good every time.
For the listener at home, it's a good joke.
Can I say that? Can I say, like, I know that probably this will be one of my biggest laughs. I'm going to make a prediction, though, for tomorrow night specifically, Friday, that there will not be a bigger laugh in the whole room than when Mitch does his Ray Romano bit.
Oh my gosh! Like when you say oh fuck, when you do the Ray Romano dropping the F word, 100%.
Because it like crosses the Venn diagram of like wholesome Ray Romano.
Yes, it does.
And at this point, you'll probably have been the first person to say fuck on stage, and it's just going to blow the roof off. So I'm really excited for that. I think Friday that'll be the biggest laugh, the single biggest laugh of the night. We'll all have great laughs. But that will be the biggest. So what else? Yeah. So then I go from Black Guy Starter Kit to being like, so like, you know, I'm only half black. But in Reading, sometimes I'm the most black. Like I'm like top 10 blackest guys in Reading. And then I'm like, which is not okay. Because at that point, if I'm the only black person in a store, I represent black people. And at no point should I be our brand ambassador. And so then I talk about that. Then I talk about the fear I have of like everything I do representing black people. And then like my fear of making someone racist. I do something. So, and I wish that I had a better one, but I've been working on this for months and I've neglected this. So it's going to be the same thing. Yeah. It's picking an avocado at Trader Joe's and taking too long. And this lady behind me is disgruntled by it. And then I'm like, and then she's like, wow. And then I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what if I was the only black person she met and and she hates me, and now she thinks that she hates all brown people, all black people, like she's a racist, you know? And it's
Did I just make her racist?
I make her racist. It's like, and you know how it is when you pick up a new hobby. You know, you read the literature. You go to events, you know, and I've never been to like a racist convention or a NASCAR race, but I imagine that, and then I go into that whole thing about her. Everyone says their least favorite thing about black people, and then she says, they take so long to pick out an avocado at Trader Joe's. They're like, I don't think you're racist. I think you had a bad shopping experience. And then from that I go into I've always wondered how black I really am.
Yeah, that's a great transition.
And you know, I can do some things that only white people can do. Like I can watch The Big Bang Theory and enjoy it.
Did that work last night for you guys?
It did work, yeah.
Yeah.
And Evan helped me write that joke.
I liked just the alliteration.
No fist bump.
So I didn't.
All right.
I didn't know. In my mind, I saw your finger just like pointing. And you can't fist bump a point.
You can't fist bump.
That's weird. Like if you fist bump like the left side. Yeah. Anyway, I thought that worked, but I was curious if we actually brought up like, is there any other show better than Big Bang Theory?
Frasier.
That's what I was.
Evan literally said Frasier.
Frasier is the whitest show.
But what I liked about, and I'm open to change, but I like Big Bang Theory. Yeah. I like the way that it sounds.
Yeah, I mean, I think Big Bang Theory is also one of the whitest shows you could ever watch.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more relevant than
it's
Frasier.
It's really white, yeah. I mean, lots.
It's really white, yeah?
Yeah? Like, is it white?
Yeah?
It's really really white, eh?
It's really whitey.
Yeah, right?
I feel white when I'm watching
I like
it.
it. Yeah. I think it will
Me
hit well.
too. Kurt.
You're like, half of me really likes this show.
So then it's like I can do some things that only white people can enjoy, like watch The Big Bang Theory. I can do some things that only black people can do. And then I'll let it hang there for a second, and then I'll say, is it saying the N-word, you guys are wondering? And then what I did last night that I don't know if I'll do tomorrow. I'm still thinking about it. Is like
have to.
I'm glad you asked because I had that same question when I was 17 years old, and I want to tell you about my experience. And then what I did last night is I said, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you about the first time I ever said the N-word. Now, I can already tell some of you are not comfortable with the N-word. And some of you are oddly too comfortable with me saying the N-word.
That's a great line.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, so I'm not going to say the N-word. I'm going to say chocolate cupcake instead. And for the sake of this podcast, I'm not going to say it at all. But on stage, what I did last night is I said, so instead of saying insert N-word here, I'm going to say, and I held the mic out to the crowd, and they said chocolate cupcake.
Right. Yep.
And then I said, so when I say chocolate cupcake, you'll know that I mean, and I hold out the mic again.
You have to do it. You have to do it. You have to do it.
Good. And so, Phil, were you there last night for my set? Oh yeah.
No,
yeah.
you have to
Yeah.
do that.
And
And someone copied themselves. I
yeah,
won't
and then-
mention who they're like.
At our table?
I'm not gonna say
Christina.
who. No, it wasn't Christina.
Kelly, my wife.
My wife.
That's my
That's
wife.
my wife.
I shan't expose. I was like, it was me. I'm like, I'm not
gonna say
tell
who.
you.
I'm too
but
good a friend to them. I won't tell you.
I won't do it.
But I am
it was
also
because-
canceled.
because they were all like, but you almost got them, so you have to do it because you don't know what's going to happen that night.
Right.
You have to do it.
So I'll probably do it. So I have a couple questions here. Do you guys think that would work tomorrow? Do you think it's in bounds to do that? Because in the real joke, I say it,
Yeah.
and then I say I mean.
Oh, I
and then everyone
see what
says
you're saying
chocolate
because you're
cupcake.
trying to debate if
Would
you
it
should be able
be
to say
as
it.
funny? I know that I can say it. I am not scared someone's going to question my
No, but I mean,
But-
for the sake of the story, because that's the whole
for
point
the
of
sake
the
of story,
story.
because I'm building up to my
Yeah.
ability to say it. Because I'm thinking, what if I didn't say it, and then at the end I say, and that's when I knew that I was and then I say
Then
it for
say
the
it.
first time.
Yeah.
Because how I
It's
said
the
it last night is I say that I knew that I was a chocolate cupcake, and that's when I knew I was black, and then everyone like clapped.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if I withheld, and so instead of saying my part where I say, instead of saying the N-word, I'll say chocolate cupcake. Instead I say, so when I say chocolate cupcake, what I mean is, and then hold it out, like would that get the same effect if I only did that?
So when I say the chocolate cupcake means the
So
N-word.
so here's
when
the
I say
setup.
chocolate
So
cupcake,
I'm
what
not going to say the N-word. I'm going to say chocolate cupcake instead. So when I say chocolate cupcake, what I mean is
right.
I don't. Oh, what's up?
you think
Yeah,
I
I think it's not the same effect. And here's the thing I'm thinking of. I think that the crowd interaction and improv that you can get out of the whole like, oh, you almost said it, didn't you? Someone in here, you're about to get canceled. We're gonna go because like the stuff you're saying last night, like, oh, I would have found out your Twitter. We would have like. I feel like you'll have so much to play with there.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying about like being able to finish it with the N-word, and that could be like like oh. He said it all.
Yeah, because
shock.
it's like
Right.
you went
But-
through the thing, and that's when I found out I'm.
Yeah.
yeah. Now this is terrible. Oh, I should probably not say this. Maybe I do say it, and we cut it out for later. Literally, what time is it? We've been doing this for an hour and
You
six,
say the
an hour and 6 minutes. Cut it out. But like, if you just said the N-word with hard R, and then you said that's the white part of me coming out, like,
No.
like, sorry,
I'll never,
Absolutely not.
never ever do that. I have a relative. I won't mention my brother's name. He does that.
no way.
And I cringe every time.
Wait.
Like hard R.
Yeah, as a joke.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Gotcha.
But he says it. It reminds me of this time at church camp.
oh no.
It's always a church camp.
Why is
folks.
it always church camp?
Okay, I have to tell this story. I've never told this story. I have
Oh, great.
To tell
Now we can't cut it out, Phil. Damn it.
we can cut out Evan's part. But so at church camp one time, and this was a part, I don't remember where this fell in relation to my story of like discovering, because that is a true story.
Yeah.
That is truly the first time I ever said the N-word to a black person. And then, well, I won't get ahead of myself, but around that time, maybe it was after, it was probably after that. At church camp, I'm getting a little confidence. I'm coming into my identity as a person of color, and I'm just feeling good about myself. And at camp, it got brought up. And you know how high school boys are, especially, dude, in Oklahoma, like Oklahoma's low-key, medium-key racist. So my most racist experiences were in Oklahoma, except for that one time in Ohio. But then, so Oklahoma, Oklahoma church camp, all my friends are talking about the N-word. Somehow that got brought up. And they were like, well, Trey, can we say it since we're your friend? Like, if we say it. And I was like, I mean, probably not. Like, I'll let you know. And so then...
I have to go check with the council.
Because again, I was in this position where I was the blackest person at the summer camp. and so this at one point, I don't remember the circumstances. I need to flesh it out. I need to like actually write it out. But the true story is that I don't remember what happened. But this kid came to me. He's like, "So I can say it now?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can say it."
Uh-oh.
And so
You said
started
yes?
to say it. I said yes. Dude, I was 17.
You gave him the green light.
Yeah. And he's like, I can say it like in a friendly way, right? I was like, oh yeah, you can do it. And then all of a sudden, like Bryant, my brother, started to hand out permission. Like it was like so by the end of the week, you had like 80 white kids. Like saying the N-word.
You go home from church camp. It was the best week of my life, Mom.
Which I cringe so much. Like I think
funny,
about it,
dude.
I just cringe that like we were like, yeah, you're allowed to say it. And
You should have made it like a business.
buy it.
Yeah, there's a fee.
Like
Oh,
literally
wow.
piece of paper that said N-word pass.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, $5.
You get 5
Did you get it?
tokens.
Did you get yours? Did you get your N-word pass? No, I don't. I'm having my mom send some money, and I'm gonna. I really want that candy nerds rope, but I think if I can say the N-word, I think it's worth the trade.
Dude.
It's okay. I can say it. My friend's brother gave him permission.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
But that's how it happened. It started to be like, I said you could say it, but it was like, well, Bryant said I could say it. It was like, well, then the guy who Bryant said could say it, like, he knighted him worthy. And so, no, by the end of the camp, like, I'm not exaggerating, like, everyone was just saying the N-word at church camp.
You need to write that story up because I think that story is so funny. That's a great stand-up bit.
It's
Oh yeah.
And I know the fact that makes you cringe is what's so funny.
Yeah.
Like it's like you gave 80 white kids at a church camp the permission to say the N-word.
Dude,
and
I would-
probably ruined
oh,
their.
oh,
Oh,
oh.
is that a button?
It's a screw.
Oh, from the mic.
But I love the idea of ending that with the segue into my joke where it's like, yeah, so at no point should I be our brand manager. Or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Brand
Yeah,
ambassador.
do you have that in your set? Do you have this idea of the story being in your set?
No, not
'Cause-
for tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe in a later
Might
day
be
because
too-
I
maybe
think
too
I
soon.
think doing that joke as the I don't think I should be the representative is a really funny transition for
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah, I think
great story.
maybe
It's a great story.
I now I'm dancing with the devil here because
Trust yourself.
the chocolate cupcake joke is already new enough to the point where I haven't said it enough times where I feel super comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So that's already an unknown. So then if I tag on another story that's kind of an unknown to me, I could have a dead 5 minutes.
Welcome to
Nah,
my world. Welcome
it
to my
wouldn't
world,
be
Trey.
dead. I mean, I wouldn't add it. I wouldn't add it this late in the game because you already have the chocolate cupcake story.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I would just keep it at that for right now.
You're right, Mitch. This is why I keep you around.
No.
So I go from
No, do it. Don't listen to him, Trey.
So I talk about
Kurt, were you gonna say something?
I was just gonna say, by the way, I just want to point out, I love how ironic it is that you guys are called the unpaid regulars and we're charging for tomorrow's.
Oh,
show.
absolutely.
Yeah.
First show.
we're getting paid, but it's not regular.
Yeah, the whole unpaid part is the first joke.
Unregularly paid
yeah.
people.
Unpaid irregularly.
Yeah, paid irregularly.
That's a hard word to say. So then I go into my the first time I said the N-word, but then I say I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna say chocolate cupcake, and then I'll do the crowd interaction. I think you guys have convinced me. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna send it.
I love it.
Yeah.
And then I go into the whole thing about the first time I say it. And then so then I'm in the middle of my set by now. By now I am 10, 12 minutes in.
Beautiful.
And I am debating. And Mitch has already given his opinion, but I'd love to hear your guys's.
Here we go.
I feel like I'm taking up most of the time.
No, but
Because I actually, I was like,
This is the night before the
This
show.
podcast-
This is an important one.
yeah, this
is
podcast was
real.
in my strategy. Like, okay, well, I'm going to work on my material, but then I'm also going to have that last podcast before the show.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I've had this joke about having kids and how I thought they'd ruin my life and saying, and then they did. And then that gets a little laugh. And then
It does.
And
That's
then,
a good one.
But then I try the tattoo, like having kids ruin my life, like having tattoos ruin my arm. And then I say, they're like they're pretty and they make a good Instagram post, but my arm will never be the same again. Not to mention my wife's arm. I've told that joke. Where were you last night, Kurt?
I forgot that joke. I love that joke.
No, it's good.
Yeah. See?
He says that no one's laughed.
Here's the deal. But the thing is, Trey, even with because some people, because we don't know why they don't laugh, because they're not intelligent. That sounds, and I'm not to diss people enough, but it's a quick-paced, intelligent joke that is it's kind of like, it might take some people a couple more seconds later, but that's what makes it so funny when you're like, that's the old my wife's arm is a vagina joke.
Yeah, see, Evan, do you not love when he says that?
I love it.
See,
and
that's
because my wife's
what I told
arm
Trey.
isn't her vagina joke.
That's what I told Trey in the car. I was like, that's the real punchline, honestly.
Because
it's like you just saying that.
It shows you being clever with it, and then it's like you get to like dumb it down for people who are a little slower with it, or if they heard it and understood it and then like, it's not gonna laugh at that.
Yeah.
They're gonna laugh at the next part.
Right.
So you're kind of bringing everybody along with it, and it's also kind of self-deprecating a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
in a good way.
an example of that tonight is like when you guys were talking about the mountains, and I was like, mountains are boobies, and everyone here was like, ha ha ha, lol lol lol, even though we all knew it. It's that thing. It's like pointing out the obvious. I think it'll get a good laugh. So yeah.
All right. I'm going to do it.
What do you think, Phil? Yeah. Dude, because here's the end of the deal.
I'm just 0 for 2. It's so hard to...
At the end of the day... The first time people laugh. Yeah.
The first time people laugh, Phil said.
But the second time was last night.
I wasn't there last night.
I wasn't there last night, said Phil.
Oh, you're
Isaac
right.
said you didn't laugh last night?
No, I said you said not.
Can I be Isaac?
You can be Isaac.
You were telling.
Yeah, I said
did.
that.
Yeah, good luck.
But this is about me right now. I'll give advice. I'm not going to take... I'm giving the advice because I'm not using it. No, that's a good point. All right, I'll do it.
I think about so in that joke, like my wife's arm, you're talking about, and my bit is very similar to that.
Which bit?
Because I'm talking about LA as if it were a woman. So, and I'm like, she's naturally gorgeous. She goes to bed at a reasonable hour. It doesn't take hours to get downtown. But the reason that that I'm doing that is like it takes time. So I spend a lot of time doing that. Yeah. So I bet if you added to the beginning, or if you just drew it out and started referring to the tattoo in a different way, then it would be completely interchangeable.
You might be right. So I've only told it twice, so I'm not like this.
So can you just for the sake of it, can you re-say it real quick, the tattoo part?
Yeah. So kids do ruin your life, but they ruin your life. Having kids ruined my life the same way getting tattoos ruined my arm. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, it is. They're good to look at. They make a great Instagram post, but my arm will never be the same again. And not to mention my wife's arm.
Yeah. Yep. I think it's great. Don't change a thing. Go with it straightforward. Yep.
Don't change anything.
I don't think you need to. I think you could add, but I think it's getting through it quicker is going to be better than elongating in this circumstance.
But you guys know how it feels to tell a joke that gets no laughs?
Oh,
when you say what's supposed to be the punchline?
Oh, Trey, every time.
It wasn't a question. I was saying, you guys know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm saying,
I mean, you guys have had that before, right? Oh, every joke you tell is hilarious.
At least.
I wish I were like
Trey,
you.
I've never suffered with that.
Trey, I wish I could relate to you on this.
Shoot, but you
when
know
I
what?
tell a joke, it's well thought through. People laugh, but maybe.
I think.
I could imagine this hypothetical.
Okay, so not to mention my wife's arms, it's like a tattoo. I love the Instagram post. I'm legitimately trying to think if there's a way to punch it out.
The only thing that I could think of is like, at the beginning there was some pain.
Mm-hmm.
Something that's the only thing I thought to add.
So the first time I told it, I tried to do a pros, cons.
Okay.
And that felt worse to me coming out of my mouth. It felt a little more scattered. And so what felt better when I had written it before I did it yesterday, and I was like, oh, it's going to work, is when I was saying all the benefits and then being like, but yeah, my arm will never be the same again. Not to mention my wife's arm. Because it's like, here's all the pros of getting a tattoo, but then it's never going to be the same. Mm-hmm. My arm will never be the same, not to mention my wife's arm. And Yeah, and now that I've said it 4 times in a row out loud, I'm realizing that I don't think they're just from the cadence of it. I don't think it would ever get a laugh on just that. I do think it is kind of a slow burn, and so instead of feeling awkward, I need to lean into it and be like, "That is a joke about my wife's arm being her vagina."
Yeah, that's the joke. That's where it hits. You can set those jokes. That's a punchline. I've watched comedians who do that, and you're like, oh, you're thinking like, oh, that was funny on the improv, but then you like see it again somewhere else, and you're like,
That wasn't improv?
they planned that all along. So like,
The funny thing is, like, the first time I said, that's a joke about my wife's arm being her vagina, it was improv.
absolutely.
And it was me just trying to recover from a joke that failed.
Yep.
So my ego doesn't like the idea of surrendering to that being the joke,
the recovery,
not the thing that I actually took time to write.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an ego thing.
Oh, we're getting down to it. Almost like
Trey,
being a stand-up
I just-
comic at all.
I just break that off of you.
Yeah.
Your wife's arm can be a vagina. And
All right, we're gonna move on.
Yeah, keep going.
We're halfway through my sentence.
Keep going.
So there's that. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it at least tomorrow night because there's not a better time to try. So I have kids now. Kids ruin your life like tattoos ruin your arm. So then maybe doing homeschooled sex ed about the epiphany thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, Epiphany, yes.
Ragingly yes. I'll have a raging yes for that joke.
Okay, so then we move on to we don't need big families.
Ouch, but okay.
But I'm part of the big family.
I'm kidding.
And then being like, so then I go into my joke that I know works, which is I saw the show about this family that's having 18 kids. They might have more. It's called Hoarders.
Perfect. Perfect.
I forgot that joke.
And then I'm like,
I love how every other sentence out of yours, I forgot that joke.
Yeah, Kurt's the best.
Man, you're
audience
playing up to your
Yes, on brand
stereotype.
for Kurt.
You can come to every comedy show we ever do.
What if Kurt has perfect memory, but he just like that's his shtick?
This
He's
is
like,
this is like a deep bit.
Oh my gosh. Method.
By the way, I was miraculously healed a year ago, but I'm just sticking with it.
yeah, 100%. Dude, I'm about to burp.
Do it into the mic.
I wasn't.
Trey, that was disgusting.
I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't ready for that.
No, that was a good sounding burp.
you. What you mean you didn't know?
That was like
a
a
little. But this was like a.
that was like a movie sounding burp. That was good.
Good
That was a
folly.
good
You
burp.
guys with the earphones?
Yeah, I think it was just so intimate. I think that's what it was. It's like burps in the middle of it. It was just right there.
It was almost like we tongue kissed.
Yeah,
in a way.
no.
What is a tongue kiss like for you?
Yeah, Trey. Actually, can you tell me what the? What
No,
is
it's like a tongue kiss, breathy, smelly, loud.
It's like you're just immediately aware of everything that's going on inside that person's mouth.
Wow. That's actually he just nailed it.
My dude,
He
my
just really
Dude, you cut tongue kiss. You're like, I know what you
he
had for
just
dinner.
proved
my
his point.
my first mouth kiss, my first like tongue kiss.
Okay, well-
saliva got everywhere. I mean, it was like 2-inch radius of my mouth. There was saliva, and I was like, "This is the best experience. This is the best day of my life."
Let's go in a circle. Evan, first tongue kiss.
First tongue kiss.
My first mouth kiss was I kind of
Wait,
want to this is what Mitch said. He said my first mouth kiss.
Yeah.
What was your first kiss?
Beehole.
I knew it. I knew it. I wanted you to touch back. I knew it. Like you don't ever say my first. No one ever has to preface like my first mouth kiss.
First mouth kiss. What the hell kind of kisses you had?
What? You mean your first kiss? Yeah. My first mouth kiss. Your first kiss. Yeah, exactly. My first. I'm saying what you're saying. My first.
We're saying the same thing.
How many times can we go over this? My
First mouth
my
kiss.
first mouth kiss. Oh, it was so funny. Surrounded by 7th graders at a football game. My brother was playing. Wasn't watching him. I was too busy. My girlfriend, quote unquote, that might hurt her feelings. Don't care. We had friends just like urging us like kiss. Like we literally had people chanting. It was the worst ever. Chanting for us to kiss, and we kissed for like a millisecond. I don't know if this is what you mean by mouth kiss. I think I understand what you mean by mouth kiss. This is just my first kiss, and it lasted about like I think 2 seconds. And I went up to watch the rest of the football game, and I said, I was just on cloud 9. I was the happiest. It was the worst first kiss ever, but I was just like, I'm a man.
But
now.
it happened.
I'm a man.
Yeah.
First mouth kiss.
First mouth kiss.
First
Or,
mouth
or,
kiss.
or tongue. I mean, I did first like tongue, like
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
First tongue kiss.
Richard Simmons.
I came in my pants and then cried afterwards. Is that too much detail?
There's no freaking way that's
I
real.
promise. Okay, here's the thing. You guys think I'm trying to be funny? I'm not trying to be funny. I came in my pants. And then cried in my room later because I.
Oh no!
The
first time?
Yeah.
Was it instant? Was it
What
like,
other time? Not the 100th time.
Was it right as the tongue touched? Was it just like
It was. She just
uh-oh?
put it in my mouth, and I was like, "Oh, too much intimacy."
Overload?
Yeah.
Oh.
I.
Did she see it or did you have to hide it? Did you put like your shirt down? Like,
No, I had pants on.
well, I know that, but I'm just
Yeah, okay, so your
What
penis
did
was
she
out.
see?
Well, I'm just wondering. Like, did you come through?
Yeah,
the
we
jeans?
we open mouth kissed. I jizzed around her feet. I cried in my bedroom.
Oh my gosh, this is the worst. This is the worst we've ever talked. I hate this. But I'm gonna say,
So,
like,
do you guys know that in episode 6 we talk about jacking off a falcon? Yes.
Oh, my improv teacher once told me, she was like, yeah, I knew a lady who had to jack off her bird.
Yeah, that's what brought it up.
yeah, we talked about it with a broom.
I'm saying this is not the worst
Well,
we've ever
oh
gone.
good gosh, yeah. I'm just saying, did you have to
Henchman,
waddle away
listen
or
to it.
Okay, yeah. Anyway.
No.
So Phil was asking if there was any hand on Trey's penis.
There was no good reason to ejaculate.
Oh.
And the thing is, you guys are going to think I'm bragging. I was just so damn pure.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful.
I never watched porn. I would masturbate like once a month and feel so guilty about it. Oh, can you believe that I did that? And then, so then this girl, by the way, my second kiss ever, shoves her tongue down my throat, and it was more than my entire infrastructure knew what to deal with. It was like, we're used to a once a month under the pillow situation. We're not used to we're not used to actual female affection. Yeah, so I came in my pants. And then I was equal parts felt guilty that I had a kiss.
Yeah,
she wasn't. We weren't married. You know what I mean?
yeah.
We weren't under a covenant.
No.
And then second, I was embarrassed. I was like, "Wow, Trey, really? What are you gonna do when you have sex?"
Yeah.
And so I went upstairs.
All right, baby, you ready? Fuck.
Like on my wedding day, like I now pronounce you man, and you came in your pants.
Were you so nervous for your first, like, after that moment where you're like, I can't kiss on my wedding day? Did that thought come to your mind?
A lot happened between that and my wedding day.
Okay, well, I mean, in that moment where you're like,
In that exact moment.
yeah,
100%.
in that moment you're like, I can't kiss my wife on my wedding day. I'm gonna ruin the whole thing.
I'm gonna cream my pants in
I'm
front
gonna
of my
wear
family.
4 pairs of underwear.
Yeah. Yeah, you're already wearing a condom.
I'm gonna put a tampon in my
They're
underwear.
fitting me for my suit. I'm like, can we get this area reinforced?
Yeah, just. Oh, dude,
I just want it really thick.
I have a story of quick segue. This is a buddy told me this, and they told me I should put it into stand up, but I'm like, I don't want to steal the idea. But this is a story of maybe I don't want to say because I don't know who it is. I don't actually know the person, but they were talking with this girl, and they're like, okay, tonight's the night, it's gonna happen. Like we're gonna sleep with each other, and so he was talking to his buddies, and he was like a virgin, he'd never slept with anybody, and they're like, okay, just like make sure you wear a condom. And he's like, okay, you got it, and so. Things happen, they escalate, like the night escalates, and then she unzips his pants, and he's already wearing it. He was wearing it the entire day.
It's just like covered in lint.
And then she zipped him, she just left. And they did not go forward with it. But just like, it was just wearing it the entire night.
The only time where too much preparation is a shot in the foot.
It's just, she was like, okay. And because he was like, she pulled his pants and it was already off.
He came prepackaged.
Pre-wrapped. My buddy was like talking about, he's like, the funniest, this was not my credit, Nick, this was Nick's idea. He's like, the funniest thing in his mind was like, that means he probably went to the bathroom, like went pee at the restaurant, and then like had to reapply it. Like had to take it off a couple times.
How do people do this?
This is rough.
I do not like condoms, man.
Oh, that story makes me laugh so hard.
That is amazing.
I feel bad saying it because I have no idea who it is. It's a friend of a friend.
You know,
be honest, we haven't
we've interrupted Trey so hard on his set. So what else do we have?
I know.
And how we've been going for 2 hours. Oh God.
Holy.
Isaac has taken 13 dumps during this podcast recording.
Isaac's like, how much do I have to poop to let you guys know? This
Isaac's
is
just
lasting
taking a
too long?
shit, being like, I know I'm not missing a lot.
And also, Phil, on a very serious note, you have Airbnb guests too. So if there's a certain time we need to be. Well, let's keep going.
All right, Trey. So you're halfway through.
Just keep going till the
so that's my
show
first
tomorrow.
version. Yeah, so homeschooled sex ed. Okay. We don't need big families, blah, blah, hoarders. Walmart moms, question mark. I'm not going to do the Walmart moms joke. I'm going to go into extra cruelty. The joke about the eggs, like I wouldn't pay more for cruelty free, but I would pay less for extra cruelty. And then I'm going to go into my...
Yeah, it's a great joke.
So good.
You weren't there, and then I thought I did that at the open mic.
Oh, you did miss that.
Yeah,
that's fun.
it's a staple. And then I'm going to say I'm a Christian, and that's funny because it just came off of me being like, I'd buy those eggs
Absolutely.
because a deal's a deal. and then being, I'm a Christian, and being, is that a weird segue? And then being like, I'm extra Christian, I'm a pastor's kid, the rapture. I was scared I was scared Jesus would come before I ever got the chance.
I had a note for you last night, and Mitch, you can counteract this. I almost wanted you to say that line sooner in the way that was said. Do you have that written out?
I do.
I think it was like maybe then and then I don't know. I was just like waiting for. Maybe it was just because I knew that I knew it. Maybe so. There's definitely there could be that bias. Like I know what's coming, ironically, but like there was a line though. I think that I'm like, oh, it would have fit really good right after that. So can you read the last part of that, and you can rebuttal this because it hit.
Oh, I'm ready.
It hit really well.
I
last
can't
night.
read it. I'll go based off of memory.
Okay.
But I basically said my very specific fear. The rapture. What's the rapture? I asked someone in the crowd. They say, I'm like, yeah, the rapture is when Jesus comes up and sucks all the Christians up into heaven to spend eternity. It's a great deal if you're a Christian, unless you're a virgin who's saving themselves for their wedding night, which was me. My very specific fear was that by the time I met somebody, started dating them, proposed, waited for our wedding night, and it came to our wedding night, I was scared that Jesus was going to come back, or I was scared that Jesus was going to return and take me to a much different heaven than the one I was expecting. I was scared Jesus was going to come before I ever got the chance.
Gotcha. So in my mind, I was like, cut out I could be wrong, cut out the heaven I was expecting and just be like, I was scared Jesus was going to come, like put it back over.
Well,
the heaven.
go ahead.
I think I kind of agree with that.
I think it just hits faster and harder.
Yeah.
Because you're building up. I was scared instead because when Jesus returns is kind of stealing from Jesus comes.
Yeah.
Because Jesus returns is the same thing. But it's I say this. I understand that there's a joke there that you're missing if you don't.
No, your intuition is absolutely right. So quick. So I've only told that joke twice.
Yep.
The first time it killed, I did not say the heaven I wasn't expecting. So then I was like, how can I flesh this out?
Yeah.
And then I wrote, oh, it's funny to say he took me to a different heaven than I was expecting.
Right.
And then I was scared he was going to come before I got the chance was going to be a tag that was going to add to the laughter.
Gotcha.
But I do hear what you're saying, and based on what the crowd did last night, the research I have to go off of was that actually works better to be like to say all that and be like, yeah, I was scared Jesus was going to come before I ever got a chance.
The thing is, you could have it for that laugh. I'm like, it was going to be. I mean, if you want to, you can have because you still have that joke.
I could tag.
You could tag kind of like the peak. Ironically, the climax of the joke, and then the downside. The downside of it is like, yeah, and bring me to a heaven that was much different than the one I was expecting. Like, as kind of like a subtle like taper off laugh.
100%.
Yeah, I think the only note, the one note I have for some reason is I want you to add 2 to the end of your sentence where you're like, Jesus was gonna come before I ever had a chance to. I don't know why. You don't have to take that note. And then also with the heaven thing, you could just be like very different heaven. Very different heaven.
Right.
Something like
It's
that
more
to make
subtle.
it a little faster.
It's a much different heaven.
Yeah, much different heaven.
Yeah, much different. And that's fun. It's like much different.
Guys,
Heaven.
this is why we do the podcast.
That's why we do it.
'Cause I'm going to do that tomorrow.
I was scared that Jesus was going to come before I did. before I.
So how I say it,
Oh yeah, I kind of.
I was scared Jesus was gonna come before I got the chance to.
I was scared. I almost like I was scared Jesus was gonna come before I did.
Yeah, that's not
I
bad.
think that's
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Before
the yeah. No,
I can
I
think
agree. But then saying like before I ever got the chance plays more into like the I've never got to.
Yeah. Before
I think from a wording standpoint, it just gets there a little quicker.
Scared Jesus was gonna come before I did.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I was
let's-
scared Jesus was gonna come.
I know.
I can't
because
believe we're
we've
saying
said
this like
so
50,000
many
times.
But can you say that, like, okay, go read the list down and then say it that way?
I was so scared that my very specific fear was that by the time I met someone, dated them, proposed, and got to my wedding night,
Oh yeah, it's hard to.
Yeah.
Jesus was gonna come before I did.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
I think it hits harder. What do you think, Phil? Yeah.
Phil agrees. I agree.
Isaac?
Kurt, what do you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Kurt agrees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isaac?
I think I like the other way better.
You like the other way better?
Hey, you have to have
Wait, what other way?
The way you had it
Last night?
before I got
a chance to.
Oh, before I had the chance.
Jesus was gonna come before I had the chance to.
just because you're naming everything off. And yeah, I think the anticipation.
So he's saying just because you're naming everything off and because you're I'm trying to translate because you don't know the mic.
The anticipation is what makes it funny.
The anticipation is what makes it funny. That's the audience.
I don't know.
Jesus was gonna come
I don't
before
know.
I got the chance to.
I don't know.
I play with it. Dude, you could do it different both nights. Do it one, because we're filming it both times. Do it one way one night, and do it the other way the next.
All right.
Yeah.
Either way, that joke's going to slap. It's going to hit
Yeah.
good.
I Joe's gonna slap some nuts.
Yep.
So then, so then I do that, and then like being a Christian's weird, right? Like being a Christian, it's kind of like being the Dallas Cowboys.
Love that line. I love this whole bit.
Like we used to be so relevant. Like we were America's team, but we haven't had a big win in so long. And America is like, we're gonna see other teams.
Yep.
Oh, could you also talk about how like and have you noticed that a lot of Americans hate Dallas Cowboy fans?
What if you did? So you said we're going to see other teams. What if you said we're going to move to California and watch other teams? Just if you could bring another, instead of see other teams, like fans, they root for other teams or they watch other teams. And it's like,
Well, actually, no, sorry, finish your thought.
no, that's essentially it. I'm just thinking of a
The
different way.
first time, actually, when I said that the first time, it didn't work as well as last time. I did not say we're going to see other teams. I just said Christians like the Dallas Cowboys haven't had a big win in so long. We used to be America's team. We haven't had a big win in so long that now we kind of just sit around and feel sad on Sunday afternoons.
That's a great line.
That's so good.
Yeah, that's great.
That's a good line.
And then like we're just like the Dallas Cowboys. Like every once in a while we'll get a huge trade.
Yeah.
You know? Like you're like, did you hear that this year we're getting Justin Bieber and Chance the Rapper?
Yeah.
And all we had to give up was praying in schools? Like, did you guys hear we're getting Kanye for a few months? We're back, baby. And then being like, it's easier to be a Christian when you're famous, you know? Like if you're a celebrity and you say Jesus is king, they're like, welcome to the brotherhood. And if you're just a normal dude and you're like, Jesus is king, they're like, yeah, well, what's your stance on gay wedding cakes?
Yeah.
And then the next one is like, yeah, it's like they ease you in. It's like it's easy when you first start off. It's like once you start becoming a Christian, they're like, welcome in. All you have to do is go to church, read your Bible, and paint something in Mexico. But then as you go along, they're like, give us 10% of your income, pick a denomination. And I'm like, what's a denomination? They're like, it's a club with rules. And I'm like, that's what I thought the church was. and then I go into, do you guys know there's 200 different denominations of the Christian church? Each one has their own separate rules. Like, for example, there are 2 different denominations that split up just because one thought that they disagreed about how to baptize your baby. Like, one thought to baptize your baby, you had to sprinkle them in the face. And then people left that church because they believed that to baptize your baby, you had to give them a full dunk. And I'm like, can you imagine your faith being so fragile that you believe God's up in heaven? Like, hey, we need to talk about this church. And an angel's like, yeah, the priests, yeah, they're getting wild. We should talk about them. God's like, no.
Yeah.
what are these babies getting?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good premise.
And the angel's like, well, I mean, you know, it varies, but these priests, and God's like, how wet did the baby get? and then I'm like, you know, but regardless of how many rules there are across the different denominations, there's one rule that most Christians agree on, and that is smoking pot. Like, you can't smoke weed. Most of us agree on that rule. I hope that, and I agree, I hope that I'm right because I'm doing all this work to not smoke weed. I hope I'm right about that rule.
Yeah.
Because then I get to heaven, blah, blah, blah. God's like, yeah, you check out, you went to church most of the time, you gave to the poor, and I'm like, and I didn't smoke weed. And he's like, what? I'm like, and I didn't smoke any weed. He's like, oh, okay. That plant that I made? I'm like, yeah, I didn't smoke any. He's like, all right, well, it says here you struggle with chronic anxiety.
That part, when you did that part hit very well.
And then I'm like, can I smoke some now? And he's like, no, are you kidding me? You're in heaven and now you want to do drugs? Like, no, I just thought, never mind. I'm so sorry. I don't want to do drugs. And then I'm like, can I get into heaven? He's like, absolutely. Yeah, it looks like everything checks out. Wait, one more thing. When you were a baby, how wet did you get? And that's the end of my set. And then I close out.
I love that.
It took us like an hour to get through my set list.
That's
I
fantastic.
promise I'm only doing 20 minutes.
So good.
But that's it. That's the whole list.
Do you think with
Hot
the very ending, the last line, when you were a babe, do you think he needs to even say how wet did you get? Maybe you do. Or is it,
I think you just give it a pause.
Yeah.
when you were a baby, pause.
Hopefully, so my plan is that I say, when you were a baby,
Laughter.
or maybe I say, when you were a baby, or when you were baptized as a baby.
No.
Yeah.
No?
No.
No.
You like when you were a baby?
you were a
I
baby?
think when you were, because when you say when you were baptized as a baby, then it's like we expect
the
the
whole joke.
water.
Yeah.
But when you say when you were a baby,
Pause, let the last kind of trickle in because people are going to anticipate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how wet did you get?
Yeah.
And then I
Thank
close.
you. Yeah. Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's my time. Thank you so much. Trailers.
Well, guys, thank you for listening to Unpaid Regulars. Actually, I don't know if we're signing off. I just
You came with such
Just
conversation. Yep.
Thanks for listening.
This is over. So much for being a beta male. You alphaed that.
I had to.
outro.
I've been looking for places to be an alpha a little bit more lately. But notice how betally I quickly exited.
You're like, well,
I am
if you guys
confident.
are ready. If
You guys are good, right? You guys are. Hey, we're good. Trey, take it away.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Unpaid Regulars. I'm Trey.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Kurt, thank you for joining us. By the way, on Unpaid Regulars.
Yeah,
Thank you for having
way
me.
to go, Trey. Way to really make him feel included. On the,
Kurt, do you have any closing
kidding.
statements? Before we exit?
Unfortunately not. I had a bunch of thoughts that I was going to say, and then I didn't, and now I forgot them. So,
Oh,
well,
relatable.
no,
Oh,
but
right.
yeah.
here's the deal.
My mom told me one time, she said, it took a near fatal car accident to do to your brain what mere age has done to mine.
Oh, wow.
Like, I just have an excuse all the time. I'm like, I forget completely normal stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, but I'm brain damaged. People are like, oh, yeah. I get that.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna rebuttal.
Yeah.
Dude. Anyway, just
Super glad to have you on.
Yeah,
We're super
thank you
excited for
so much.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
All of us are going to absolutely crush, especially you, Kurt.
Dude,
Yeah.
The first time is going to be the best time.
Thank you.
Well,
thanks
you'll
for
have better
coming on the
times.
podcast. It's been
know what
awesome
I'm
to get to
saying.
know you through this, and even from the conversations beforehand. Dude, you're a solid guy.
Thank you.
And the people who this podcast will already be out, but you guys are in for a treat tomorrow. Last week.
Like, what's tomorrow?
There's nothing tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Nothing had already happened.
But it is going to be super fun. So, yeah.
Thank you for joining us, Kurt. Thank you for joining us, everyone else who has tuned in and is watching or listening. If you enjoy this podcast, please remember to like and subscribe. Every little bit you do goes a long way in helping us get this podcast out there. We cannot thank you enough. We'll see you next week. Outro music!